Basta sama-sama.
Thanks, Lodi.
Ano? Laro?
G!
Guys, next week na yung tournament. Game tayo, ah.
Sige, basta ako ang tank, ha?
Golding MM ako, ah.
Expelin na ako. Kaso,
Nag-last day na nga pala si Kyle.
okay guys, please welcome Mimi, our new teammate.
Hi, Mimi.
Good to have you, Mimi.
Hello.
Please take the empty desk.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome sa department.
Thank you.
Baka gusto mo sumali sa team namin. Meron kaming ML tournament.
Hindi ako nag-games eh, sorry.
Turuan kita. Gusto mo? Dali lang naman. Tsaka parang team bonding na rin tayo.
Pwede naman, pero hindi ako nag-games, as in zero knowledge talaga.
G lang. Magkukore ako, bubuhatin kita.
What?
Five seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them!
Oh, Mimi, dito ka lang sa tabi ko, ha?
Oh my Lord!
Oh, basta turtle, ha? Def lang.
GG, bawi na lang next
Sayang.
time.
Nice game, guys. Later na ako.
Okay lang yan, Mimi. You're making progress naman, eh. Basta focus ka lang sa atin. See ya.
Sa atin? May kami na ba?
Mimi, sa tournament, dapat masanay tayo gamitin yung in-game chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Hoy! Mimi, yung turtle!
Sorry. Let's go.
Uy, nice presentation kanina.
Oo nga, nice one.
Siyempre, para tapos
Grabe.
agad.
Hello.
Uy, Mimi, may new skin yung Esme, oh. Cute ng fit niya. Try mo kaya?
Pwede naman.
Sinong cute? Uy, sinong cute?
Yung skin.
Ayos, skin.
Puno.
Pero cute nga.
Alright, do you think matidefend ng Team Finance ang title nila this year? Pero grabe rin ang kalaban nila this year. Malupit ang marketing. Ito na ang team nila. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's your fifth member? Kailangan, ayan na siya! Marketing! Very old and very proud!
Now I'm getting serious.
Bro. Uy, ingat. GG kanina. Thanks sa pag-join sa squad namin.
Anytime.
So, saan ka na niyan?
Sa bahay. Magdedelulo 15 Pro Max.
Huh?
Hindi ko pa alam eh.
Gusto mo mag-coffee sa tapat? Saka, game na rin. Looking for kaduwasan.
those Galas can't you do it? And Alpartisana from Catarsia!
Avalanche fight as Lone gets instantly shot down by the Blazing Duet, as well as the Electo final blow. This is going to be easy cleanup for Todak as most of the...
Apat yun, pero nasipa din siya yung ninakaw na sipa. Buhay pa rin ang 4v1!
Backline already, and they're running for the lives, gunning it. David trying to drag the members of RG right underneath the turret. It's not enough though. Gray coming all the way in. He cleans it all the way up. Just no way for him to run. Just
Nakikita ka na sa tumori wapon ni Polisya membuat pergerakan dari Liga atau lalu benar-benar slow. Rafanya sudah tumbang.
Legendary!
This fairy tale ended with the poisoned apple, and my tale began. A princess in a tower is just a bird in a cage.
Curse it! Take my vengeance! Protect your queen!
Kneel before your queen. It won't take long, I promise.
Nakilala niyo na palang transferee natin. Class, meet your new classmate, Felicissimo.
May na lang po.
Lisa, guide mo muna si Moy ha as he adjusts to our school. Thank you, Iha. Okay, everyone, bring out your social studies textbooks. Nag-ML ka?
Pero kakastart ko pa lang eh. Noob pa ako, tsaka newbie rin dito.
Sus, school ML. Ako bahala sa'yo. Dali lang to. Road to Mythic agad tayo. Pakinggan mo.
3 stars. Look at us to the top, no ifs, no buts. Winning any game, para to sa PNNES. Di mo matitinag aming boses sa new level. Nasa kalye man o mobile, you know I become a legend. Open fire, we unite, we winners. Built with pressure, like diamonds are made of. Switch na lane na parang gera. HP Racing may reset up. Built agad ang buhat ni Hilda. Full load SS parang Lyra. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas. Kasama patas. Tagumpay natin to. Dahil tayo'y malakas. Para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas. Hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas. Kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas. Hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas. Ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Hold on. Yeah, malakas ang Pinas. We are laging every beat. No surrender, no retreat. Pag nagsama-sama, just imagine what we can achieve. Laging every beat. No surrender, no retreat. Giving 100 all my all, cause we just cannot be defeated. We are unstoppable, immune and invulnerable. Ready ang equipment, lahat frozen, malang crowd control. Pakita ko na jab like beast of the southeast. So matawag proud and loud, cause every enemy we devour. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas. Kasama patas. Tagumpay natin to. Dahil tayo'y malakas. Para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas. Hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas. Kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas. Hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas. Ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Kahit anong lane, we become the monsters. Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Face the golden sun and repping for the 3 stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
The 13th season of MPL Philippines is brought to you by the following sponsors. Smart, the official telco partner of MPL Philippines Season 13. Infinix GT Series, outplay the rest. Experience the MPL PH Season 13 action live at Shooting Gallery Studios. Tickets are now available on our official ticketing partner at /event.com. Don't miss any MPL PH action by following our official Facebook page and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL PH on TikTok as well for more content. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the official accounts of MDL Philippines. To ensure the equality and fairness of our games, MPL Philippines is also monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusements Board.
MPL na 4PM 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 MPL na
4PM MPL na.
4PM MPL na
4PM MPL na.
4 PM MPL na.
4PM MPL na.
4 PM MPL na.
4PM MPL na.
Catch your favorite MPL matches every Friday to Sunday.
Only at the MPL Philippines YouTube and TikTok.
4 p.m.
MPL na.
4 p.m. MPL na! 4 p.m. MPL na! 4 p.m. MPL na!
Ligayang pagdating sa tahanan ng pinakamalalakas na Mobile Legends Bang Bang players sa buong mundo. I'm Mara Aquino.
My name is Hans Galleria.
And this is
MPL Philippines Season 13.
After some time off, we're back to witness intense matches dito sa MPL Arena. So how was your weekend?
Oh, it's been good. It's been good. At least nagpahinga lang tayo. And I feel like that is everything that everyone needs. The rest and time to reset para sa darating na matches, especially for our players. Ikaw ba, Mara? How did things go for you? I feel like it's slightly eventful. Slight ba?
Very eventful.
Okay.
I started it off. We went to the beach,
Okay.
watched the sunset, exactly what I said I was going to do last
Oh, yeah,
time.
yeah.
Worked out every day.
That's 3.
Saw friends. And I think
That's
I
4.
gained mga 4 pounds.
Okay. That's pretty good on its own. All right? That's pretty
So
good on
how
its own.
about yung mga viewers natin? Ano nga ba ang ginawa nyo during the time off? Comment down below. We want to know what you guys did. And I'm sure you're looking forward to a lot of things this week. What are you guys looking forward to? And speaking of, how about let's do a recap of our Week 2 standings.
Speaking of which, 2 undefeated teams ang maghaharap ngayong linggo. Because after 2 weeks ng ating regular season, there's AP Bren, our defending M5 and MPL champions, going up against Echo sa darating na Sabado. So that's something that they need to look out for.
And after this week, however, isa sa kanila sure na sure magkakaroon ng talo dahil maghaharap ang M4 World Champion and M5 World Champion sa Sabado. Bukas na yan.
Ang dami nating nakikitang changes sa ating standings and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of changes sa darating na linggo. So make sure na panoorin nyo itong araw na ito and especially yung Week 3 because yung mga pagbabago ay makikita natin from here on out and especially the later portions.
I wonder if that's how they expected
Yeah.
the first 2 weeks to be, kung ano yung nakita natin sa ating standings.
I didn't.
Pero meron ako hindi na-expect.
Okay.
Etong Gaiman Gladiators XP laner Fried Chicken
Okay.
stated that he finds MPL Philippines stale compared to
Meaning?
MPL Indonesia. Ano nga ba? Ano ba ibig sabihin nun?
I mean, he basically called MPL Philippines boring, right? I've always enjoyed MPL ID more than MPL PH. I've always just gravitated more towards them. It's always been more entertaining. It gets a little stale sometimes.
Gets a little stale.
Stale.
Even though tayo yung
Yung-
pinaka-magaling.
Okay, ilan ulit yung championship natin sa
Oo
M
nga.
series?
So baka kasi nasanay na talagang ang galing-galing natin.
I mean,
Pero hindi ba dapat nandito siya nung last World Championship? Pero,
anunin kasi nila. no?
pero wala. Baka kasi boring din yung playstyle niya.
Huwag kang ganyan. Huwag kang ganyan. You gotta calm down at that part, right? Pero this time, kung hindi sila medyo makakuha ng panalo, kayo, may chance kayong manalo
Yes.
ng 10K Diamonds dahil nakipag-partner ang MPL Philippines sa local animator natin, na Yokify.
That's right, tampok sa kanyang MPL Philippines animation ang 4 p.m. MPL na Dance Craze at mamimigay siya ng 1,000 diamonds. So take a look at this.
Pwede na magpahinga. 4 p.m. MPL na. Tapos na po ba kayo mag-away? Pwede na ba magpahinga?
Okay po, baby.
4 p.m. MPL na. 4 p.m. MPL na.
4 p.m. MPL na!
Catch your favorite MPL matches every Friday to Sunday.
Only at the MPL Philippines YouTube and TikTok.
4 p.m.
MPL na!
4 p.m. MPL na! 4 p.m. MPL na! 4 p.m. MPL na!
Ang nais naman, mamimigay siya ng 1,000 diamonds. So you can check out Yokify and MPL Philippines social media pages for more details.
Alam mo, kung sa tingin ng iba sa mga tao dyan, boring pa yan, sumubaybay na lang kayo. Okay? Dahil may chance pa kayong manalo ng sandamakmak na prizes.
And bukod sa diamonds, tignan natin ang maiinit pero boring
We're
na
taking that,
laban.
huh? We're
Pero
taking that.
matutunghayan natin ngayong araw. For our first match of the day, it'll be RSG versus Minana. And Minana passed their dark horse test. Makita na naman natin kaya ang kanilang power spike ng RSG in this matchup.
At para sa huling serye ng araw na to, 2 versions na ng bagong barangay ang nakita natin. Sino kaya ang ipapaharap nila sa World Champions na AP Bren?
Kaya Hans, huwag natin patagalin pa. Simulan na natin ang ating unang laban.
This is RSG Philippines versus Minana Evos.
Casters,
Pasok.
They struggle to find their stride. Who's first to to hit their power spike. Welcome, Mabuhay. At your service, my name is Leo, here with Rockheart, and making her debut on the English desk, it's Brigida. How are we today?
Feeling so excited, actually, especially as we're entering the 3rd week of the season, and I think a lot of us were really surprised with what we've seen in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was a long break, to be honest, but there's a lot of things that happened right there. We'll break that down a bit later.
I missed the desk, and I'm sure you guys missed the action here on MPL Philippines. The best of the best in all of the world, just on showcasing what really top-tier MLBB looks like. And if it's boring for you, then I don't know what you're looking for, to be honest. We've won the past 4 World Championships, and this is just what it looks like. This is the best kind of MLBB in the world.
It strikes me when, I keep hearing that, I keep reading that. And obviously we respect the opinion of people who always want the blood, who always want the kills to go down. But it has been proven, right, Leo, that this is just how you win the game.
Yeah. I'll tell you, even these two teams facing off right now to open up Week 3 know what we're talking about when we say this is the best MLBB in the world. They're going into a best of 3. It's RSG Philippines and Minana Evos looking to hit their power spike, because say what you will about RSG struggling in the first few weeks of every single season, starting in season 9, 10, 11, 12. They always find their way into the podium finish. And here in season 13, I think they're going towards the same trajectory.
Yep. The biggest question is if this will mark the start of that particular trajectory upwards, especially since we've put in a little bit of history in this discussion, they've also went up against Minana last season, but unfortunately faced a 0-4 standing up against them. But of course, there's a slight difference in terms of the lineup that RSG Philippines currently has. But I think we are starting to also slowly feel the impact of these changes, particularly when it comes to how they've adjusted to their new gold lane.
Yeah, and if there's ever a time for the changes to happen, I think it is about now. And of course, RSG obviously trying to see if they can rally Demon Kite behind it.
That's right, the smiling demon who won Rookie of the Season in his debut in Season 8, won the season championship in Season 9, found a way to actually still be a needle mover in Season 10, took a break in 11, went on to play for MPL MY, and now he's back home.
Yeah, obviously I think Demon Kite, people have so many opinions of him, but one thing that you cannot deny about this guy, he started off strong, and he's still one of the pillars of RSG, regardless of even though he did take a break in the previous season. I mean, he's an international RSG boy. That's how good he is.
If you see there the stats as compared to the average jungler, Demon Kite trumps them 3 to 5. Demon Kite is just that much better than the average, and I say that's true ever since his debut. So if you're looking at Minana Evos this time around, how do they hit their power spike? Because they've also shaken up their formula here going into season 13.
Yeah. It was something that was mentioned or was established in the past season, especially as I think a lot of us are familiar, or if not familiar, Minana, they were so close to reaching the playoffs last season. I think it was just 1 point, and it was a very emotional last match for them when they were unable to meet that particular or get that particular point. But it's also something that eventually was very rewarding for them, because it was after that match that we could all say they finally know their identity, or like this is the way they play, and they've carried it over to the season, which resulted in a very promising performance in the first few weeks.
Let's see how they're looking like. But first, on to our marshals who will officiate the match. They ensure the fairness and integrity of our games. It's Chico, Jeff, Patrick, and Wilbert.
I heard that Wilbert can actually fall asleep within 5 minutes.
That's quick. Let's welcome our teams onto the stage. With the Raiders full force behind them, the Kingslayers are looking to checkmate the Hukbo in this week's opener. Here to rise and slay, it's RSG Philippines! their claws sharpened through adversity and struggle. They are excellence inherited. Make some noise for Minana Evos! And their coaches, Coach Daliat and Coach Imba DJ. You're watching the strongest league in all of the MLBB sports world. The action starts now. First up, let's talk about RSG Philippines. They're fielding a roster as close to RSG Prime.
That's right. RSG Prime, obviously, you will remember this as the RSG Season 9 winning roster. And not much has changed here because they back here, they added again. We got some people who flew out and flew back in, and then just basically forming RSG that we know and love.
Technically, Kusei was part of that roster.
He was 6-man. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right. He was in there. So I'm looking forward to RSG sticking to this, finding their power spike, hitting their stride, and then, again, just making it to the podium as they do, as they always do, season after season. Brigida, talk to us about Minana Evos.
Minana Evos, this time I think there aren't really much changes we'll be seeing. These are the same 5 players who've made their debut here in this season and who've shown us the longest game so far of this season as well, which shows us just how capable this team is of going up even up against the most or the strongest teams we recognize around the world today who are based here in the Philippines. And it's something that they, or RSG, might want to really watch out for, since I think if we were to talk about Minana Evos and their capabilities, it's really in the mid to late where they're actually proving to be quite a challenge to face with.
Carl, why is that? Why does it seem that Minana Evos find their power spike in the late game and they take us to 33, 34 minutes consistently?
I think it always boils down to whether or not, Kirk can find the final slashes that we look for. Kirk, definitely he is the Arlott main of this season, I think.
Yeah.
And they have been really tearing it up. But obviously Spider Miles, still something that is always in the crosshair of these coaches' targets.
Yeah, and adding up to what you mentioned, I think, or stats say that Minana hasn't won a game that Kirk wasn't on the R-Lot.
Oh, no.
So that's, I think that's something we need to see that Minana has to work on, because I think teams are also starting to know that they should be targeting these particular heroes against them.
Steal it or deny it from him. And again, we have to address the elephant in the room, or the spider in the room. Miles is just a utility roam god. And that's all he's got. Is that all he's got? That's the question I have now.
Oh, that's a good question. Again, these are things that you kind of expect a lot of players to kind of encounter, these issues where you have so much. You have a big pool, but all of them are support heroes. Like, I mean, obviously we're going to have to see if Miles has grown in terms of not just of height. Obviously, he's very tall. But whether or not he can adapt more heroes in this pool and maybe give the opposing team a harder time in the draft.
Yeah, Miles Santos definitely is a tall gentleman. Last time I checked, he was like 6'4".
Oh, wow.
So you see here in their choice
Super
of heroes, Minotaur, Grok for light. As for Miles, there's the Rafaela, the Diggy,
the Rafa man,
the Estes. Brigida, talk to us about the keys to victory here.
I think the keys to victory really echo what we've been mentioning throughout the past few minutes. RSG, they really have to respect the hero pool of what we've been discussing, Spider Miles here, which I think we've been frequently seeing when teams go up against Minana Evos. It's something that actually they get to capitalize on somehow, because it's really Minana Evos' strength when Spider Miles gets a hold of those heroes. Whereas for Minana Evos, what they really have to do is, again, do also what previous teams have been able to do against RSG. It's really to deny Demon Kite of being able to get that jungle, to actually snowball, or even whenever he gets the assassins or whenever he gets the utility, just really target Kusei here on the gold lane and eventually avoid or prevent the rotations. And for both, capitalize on their power spikes. I think we've also mentioned it earlier. I feel like there's a contrast between RSG as well as Minana. RSG, it's very crucial for them to establish the early game, whereas Minana, they can wait for the mid to late game.
Real quick, reminding everyone about MPL Philippines live stream viewer awards. They're available now. Come and watch the MPL matches on TikTok to join the Goodie Bag Lottery and be one of our lucky winners.
And they've made it so easy with this graphic, right? Go to TikTok, open TikTok, search for MPL Philippines, and then hit the live. Right there, at MPL PH_official. That's a live stream. And click on the top left corner to join the Goodie Bag Lottery.
And that's it, folks. Come on and enjoy the best MLBB action in the whole world and see what new tricks Minana Evos and RSGPH have brought to us. Alex here actually kind of pointed out where maybe RSG might shine if Minana Evos is clearly for the late game. Carl, I got to ask you, where might RSG pick their fights? What is it do they want to do? Early game, like let's say 5-10 minutes in, like even turtle-wise, do they want to be aggressive there?
I think that's the reason why, we brought it up so many times that Minana has been trying to get to the late game. That's where they really shine. I think you have to attack that early game and make sure that Kirk has a hard time roaming. And for the little god, please, someone shut down Lancey. Lancey has been one of the keys whenever he gets his hands on the Novaria. That has been one of the keys where they can prolong these games. Maybe shut down that mid lane, get an entry opening early on, and break them wide open.
So if RSG wins the early, it's up to them to finish quick so that Minana Evos can't even think of the 20-minute mark.
Yep, and I think RSG is a team that's capable of doing that simply because if we look at the average game time of these two teams, RSG is significantly lower than that of Minana. They often finish their games within 15 minutes. So they're a team that if they get hold of the early game, they can really capitalize and take advantage of it. Whereas if they don't, it's hard for them to actually bounce back and regain that momentum that they've lost.
All right, here we go. Game number 1, RSG on the play. They are on the blue side still with a whopping 61% across the league going into week 3. Red side for Minana Evos. First pick, there's the Novaria. Talking about denial. Talking about Lancey in mid here.
Love it.
Yeah. Still, we might just see the Lilia for Lancey later on. I mean, it's one of the heroes that he really stood out when he was able to get his hands on it. Recently, when they were not able to get the Lilia for Lancey, when it was up against Onyx, Onyx used that Lilia against them and they lost 0-2, so they really might want to get hold of their comfort picks. But speaking of comfort picks, I think they will definitely secure this Arlot now it's open.
There it is. So obviously they don't need to get the Lilia right away. They have some leeway to do that maybe on the third pick here. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. If it doesn't get picked up here, there's a good chance it'll also get banned.
You have to respect I could recall that the Lilia literally going in the middle of the team fights and finding the targets to just really use all those glooms.
Really
and
insane.
Yeah, it's really insane performance. But this Barats is actually a really great deny pick as well for Demon Kite, since I think it's also one of the main heroes that he was able to use previously. But that leaves other options available as well, such as the Marksman here for Kusei, because recently it's been mostly carry for Kusei as well, but it seems like they'll secure different path.
All right, here we go. Closing up their first phase, the X-Borg and the Fredrin. Clear choices here for RSG. They're putting the X-Borg in the XP lane and the Fredrin in the jungle. As for Minana Evos, though, we can't say for sure if... Okay, the Arlot's definitely going to the Kirk's hands. But if this was a different team, they can still flex that.
That is true.
So even after the long break, it's clear that Minana Evos are still on that same track. They're playing what they know, what they're comfortable with, and they're going to close their first phase off with a Valentina.
At the very least, I'm very happy that, you know what, RSG, they did their homework. And if you can't completely ban out Kirk's Arlot, you have to make a way to make it hard for the Arlot to get out of that laning phase. And X-Borg is definitely a great hero against Arlot. So hard for that Arlot to really dominate in that lane. And if you leave it, you're in trouble.
Here's what's odd. We're going into the second phase, and very rarely does it happen that we don't get a gold laner in the first phase at all. Carry is still out there. Claude is still out there. And while we're waiting for Minana Evos' ban now on the red here, second phase, I'm loving the conversation that you guys are having on the MLBB Esports YouTube channel, right? Come on down, let us know what you think, why it is that MPL PH, MPL ID, MPL MY, why are we all so different? Because there's some W takes in here, and I'm like, yeah, definitely. That's the reason why. MPL PH, very technical. Even in the draft alone, you can see how these teams want to go and pick their fights and how they can do that from early all the way to late.
Yeah, big shout out everyone on the MLBB Esports chat on YouTube. We're reading that. Everyone's surprised that you're here, Brigida. That's a very warm welcome. And yeah, obviously, I feel like we are gonna have to look into those gold laners. This is very common, I would say. In a matchup where both gold laners are very stable already. They have a huge pool. Didn't even bother.
I do feel like it's going to be a huge challenge here for Kusei to actually match up against Doming in the lane. Considering that you would expect Minana to really focus or center around these utility heroes, which would likely support the gold lane or aid in the laning phase. And it's been very crucial for Kusei in the past few matches to either win his lane, because if not, and if the rest of the members of RSG don't get hold of the early game, it becomes all the more difficult for him to actually find great footing whenever there's a team fight or in general taking up the necessary gold. So right now, no Claude will be available, and the carry, it might just go into the hands of Minana since they will be the first to pick right after this banning phase.
But something tells me Coach Daliot, Coach Panda, and even Kusei, part of the conversation, knows that that's what's going to happen. They're allowing it unless they ban it here now.
Yeah, most likely, obviously, any hero that Doming has picked up. By the way, Doming, one of the most consistent players right now in Minana. Even in the games that they lose, he goes crazy.
Yeah, whether it be a Claude, a carry, even a Clint. The young Doming has played the Clint. And I don't know, with a 0% win rate on Harith across the league, I don't even think that's even worth considering. I don't know, maybe with RSG now, maybe they can pick that up if they ban the carry here.
If actually we're talking about winning the laning, then could there be a possibility we would see the very famous lane bully right now called Roger or something?
Roger Gold!
Because
that sounds good.
That's been, or he's been making some noise recently.
He's on the road towards normalization, man. Ever since Innocent started playing it in the opening week of MPL MY, it's like, oh, come on, man. Come on.
It was fun. That was fun. That was a fun game.
Talked about 0% win rate.
0% win rate.
Okay, but maybe Doming can make some magic here.
If there was any gold laner in the whole MPL Philippines who can do it, if not Super Marco, it might be Doming, right? Or anyone.
Yeah, actually Doming, when it comes to the mid or to the late stages of the game, we often see him in places you typically would not expect marksmen or the gold laners to be in that stage of the game. So he really has something, or he's capable of actually playing around with positioning when it comes to the latter stages of the game. And I think he's just that confident in his mechanics. Doming is a very mechanically skilled player, if I may say.
Okay, something tells me maybe RSG isn't as comfortable playing the carry because they don't have the roamer to pair it up with.
Yep.
You usually want it with a Kaj, and Coach DJ, Coach Bitoy may have closed that up. There we go. We're picking up a Nain and a Cho. The only Cho ever in MPL PH was in the hands of JP. That's it. Now there's a second Cho.
Oh, wow.
0% win rate so far.
Exactly. He didn't win with it.
Yeah, but you know, it's something, right? It's something that can kind of deal with most of the roams that are still up for grabs here. Definitely, he won't have problems like being out-sustained because a lot of the sustain heroes are banned out.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to. When you can make that set quite easily, it's just a big question of who Spider-Man is gonna go down to.
Yeah, and it's something that we should all be looking forward to see if RSG is going to be able to play out this very aggressive lineup in the early stages of the game, considering that they got their hands on the True, and they will. Or Minana, they'll be completing their lineup with a Benedetta.
Wait.
Bro!
This is what I was alluding to!
Kirk!
Oh, no!
Ooh, okay.
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
You did.
This is Spider Miles now showing us his diversity.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Oh, check out the audience prediction, folks. Again, RSG, majority still holding 59% to 41. What do you think? Online, who do you think is going to win? Who's going to take this? Game 1, take the series. What you got? Are you Bo? Are you Kingslayers? Are you Raiders? Get into it. Let us know. Go into the chat. I actually like Minana's draft. I like that they're able to switch it up because I don't think RSG saw that coming.
That's right.
Definitely. And it will be a huge problem for them if they don't actually get to pay attention to the Nathan, because the Benedetta will definitely hunt him down, and that will cause a huge problem for them coming to the team fights. But wow, I think we're seeing a new form.
Wait. Hold up.
Wait.
It might not be as simple as we thought. Is that the Benedetta holding a retribution?
No.
Is it Kaizen Benedetta?
Oh, if that's the case, then this might just be the first assassin game of KZ.
Never mind.
No, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. We're good. This is pretty normal.
Okay.
We were just holding out for that.
Here we go. Back into the land of Dawn, folks. Just to keep you guys up to date, Spider Mouse is playing a roam Arlott.
All right. I think one of the first few times we'll be seeing it.
Yep.
I love it because it kind of just throws away all of the expectations of everyone who is watching out for Minana. Everyone thinks, you know what, Spider Mouse, he's gonna go support Rome for sure, but no, he's showing that he's got a lot under his belt.
Yeah. I mean, the first 3 bans earlier, they were all targeted towards him, so...
It was so fast as well. They didn't even take time to ban it. They just instant banned these 3 heroes.
Yep,
so fast.
It's what I'd like to call going ham. Hack a Miles.
Like a mile.
They didn't think that he could play an Arlott. Here we go. It's time to prove all the haters wrong, Miles. Let's do it. Early rotations see us both junglers clearing their waves. Light giving Spider Mouse here a bit of something to think about.
Yeah.
DK hitting 4 already. This is maybe 2 seconds behind Kaizen. There you go.
Yeah. I think a lot of, or RSG in this kind of composition, much of the information coming in here from Light will be mostly maximized by Aqua, trying to get the pokes. And that's something you might want to consider before engaging Minana in a team fight, because they're a very team fight centric, or we know Minana to be very powerful when it comes to doing the team fights. But right now, as we approach the first turtle, I think their plan is to really take away the Firaga as usual, but Nats won't be letting that happen that easily.
Yeah, it's super smart because Nats is not showing up. That means there's no way for them to be on the Firaga armor right now, who are going to be engaging here. There you go. The Astral Echo, the highly contested or highly debated Astral Echo online.
Is this where I go? Whoa!
This is where you come in?
They hit 2! Here we go.
Exactly.
Big 4-man fight here.
Yep, happening right now. Nats has the engagement activated here, and Light goes straight into Kaizen. That's first blood for RSG.
Oh, Lancey with a stolen last insanity. Light still going in. Kirk very low!
Oh, barely dodged it there with the Star Shatter, and Kirk is going to be in trouble still. Man, Kirk is just not showing up in the same light.
Yeah.
He's just not making the same impact here, this hero, for some reason.
That early rotation coming in from RSG was something that was very rewarding for them prior to that turtle. We mentioned how Minana clearly wanted to actually get an advantage over the XP lane, but they denied them of that. And instead, it actually backfired since 2 members of Minana were forced to actually retreat. They were very low, and that was a huge advantage that RSG was able to capitalize on, securing them the turtle, and currently the 1K lead that they have in their hands.
Okay, good news, bad news. RSG has a great box. They're
They
able
do.
to take fights and deny fights, as you mentioned, Alex. So with that said, bad news, bottom lane. You're leaving Doming to farm. Every minute that Doming doesn't get anything on him leads us to Minana Evos crossing that 15-minute, 20-minute threshold wherein they just somehow, some way flourish. That's where they took the world champions. That's where they took the MPL Philippines Season 12 Grand Finalists, Blacklist International. They're able to do that.
They actually did. It's actually impressive the way that Doming can really take something out of nothing. You know, just take something out of thin air. But that's what it looks like. But in reality, obviously, he takes it by slowly farming and taking fights that he knows is happening. Right now, on the top side, I think RSG is a little surprised here. Nats going to be going down here with the help of Lancey.
Again, I stand by the fact that this is all in an effort to take the pressure away from Doming down bottom.
Yep. And it's something you don't typically expect to see up against Harith, because Harith typically is the lane bully. But right now, Kusei on this Nathan, with the aid of Light, they're able to actually manage pretty well. And they're not feeling that pressure coming in here from Doming. But right now that the turtle will be spawning here in the bottom lane, we might just expect these marksmen or these gold laners to be more involved in the upcoming fight.
Whoa. Just Turtle to an only 5-man!
Wow, great targeting here coming in from Light. Make sure that they can get that turtle. And of course, the fight is going to be very RSG heavy here. With Doming going down, that's going to be DPS going down for Minana. And this is going to be trouble for everyone. Kirk gets a double, but looks like there is going to be some backlash here. Lancey and Kirk, the 2-man combo, doing work for Minana.
Run, Aqua, run! Did not see that coming. I expected RSG to actually take the whole fight. But again, Minana Evos, they don't have a great box, I'll have to admit that, but they have a great scramble. They're able to play around with space like RSG can't.
Yeah.
They have Doming on a Purify, they have the dashes, they have Spider Mouse to stop the dashes. Yes, he died first, but So far, look at the conversion here.
Yeah, it's going to be another kill probably here, but Kirk looks like he'll be able to survive here. Kusei not really ready to chase down a rampaging Benedetta so far.
I think you mentioned earlier we've not seen that impact yet from Kirk, but that was a consecutive triple kill and escape that he showed us right now here in this game. And they're slowly starting to ramp up the pacing of this game towards their hands. Something you wouldn't, or I didn't really expect after RSG was able to secure that much of an early game against Minana. So right now, this might just be a huge problem since even Nats, he's feeling the pressure. The rotations here have been focused on him since earlier.
And again, even in that last turtle, he was there. He was key to actually at least trading against Minana Evos while RSG almost got wiped out. Something to note here, Doming, despite having died once and getting no kills, and Kusei getting 2 and then 1 death, are actually on par. Even after this lane switch up, they're still at the same farming pace. With Minana Evos, about 1,000 gold ahead. So this is looking good for the Tigers.
Yeah, despite not getting kills, Doming actually has 4 assists. So he's taking part, he's getting that gold, getting the funds that you need to get a Harif activated.
He's building up, and here we go. Third turtle spawning up. Likely the last, given how slow these fights happen, but how they end in the blink of an eye. Minana Evos, huge Astral Echo right in their face, and there's nothing RSG can do.
Definitely this time Minana wants to secure this turtle for themselves. This is the first turtle that they've secured after a beautiful zoning or actually managing of that particular turtle pit. But even in the jungle, they will steal away that purple buff from Demon Kite.
And they gave it to Lancey
Lancey.
too!
Oh man, this is going to be trouble here. I am foreseeing a very good next minute here for Minana, just the way that they're doing this. Obviously, Doming's not in a place where you can just go ham yet, but they're getting there.
All right. Now I'm curious, like just in the micro moment.
There it is.
Light.
See? Lancey can just keep doing stuff like this, right?
Okay, he's fine. He's fine. There's a lot of communication that went into that play, right? They have to have spoken and said Retribution into the Valentina skill for him to give it to Lancey. Very specifically.
That's
amazing. Minana Evos, they worked on their synergy over the break.
Yeah, we've seen this synergy in the first 2 weeks, but it's unbelievable to see that they were able to improve it in a span of like one week or 2 weeks that we've also had a break here in MPL Philippines. So I think the games are just starting to become more and more exciting, unlike what we've been hearing from others' opinions as well, but they are all entitled to your own opinions.
All right, I got to chime into that one. It's exciting in its own way. I know a lot of different kinds of fans where they like what they're seeing, right? They like that this is the efficient way to do it.
It's okay to have wrong opinions, guys.
Exactly.
Here we go. Fight waiting to happen. Astral Echo thrown out. Doming just pushing in. The previously mentioned lack of a box. Minana Evos, they're using this 1K gold lead to make up for more than that, along with spacing. This is amazing.
They don't have a box, but they sure have like really strong straight lines, right? For Lancey, especially for Kirk, right? Straight up into the Electo Final Blow. That's a straight line that he's capitalizing to get these hits.
Yep, and I think we are starting to see the impact or the effect of having this kind of very high mobility lineup in the hands of Minana up against RSG. Apart from the fact that we know them to be a team who can really handle team fights very well, it seems like they know from the start or whenever there's going to be a fight, they are already positioned themselves where they need to be, especially when it comes to where Kirk goes. But right now, RSG, they might want to contest.
Man, Light, very beautiful pick off there. Obviously, Spider Mouse going to be removed. No Final Slash available right now. Here comes the explosions coming in from RSG, but they seem to be hesitating, Leo. I'm not sure why.
It's not a matter of hesitation. It's just both lineups lack either the space or the zone, and in this case, the player for them to actually lean in hard to the fight. This is discipline coming in from Minana Evos and RSG. Both of them allow the Lord to reset, and both of them jockey for position once more. Minana Evos waited for Spider Mouse to respawn, and RSG are waiting for the waves to hit equilibrium, and then once more find the perfect hit with Aqua starting off with the Astral Echo. And again, guys, real quick, that's why we react so wildly to huge Astral Echoes, just because it breaks your opponent's positioning. They can't get into a position wherein they can win the fight. That's why it's so important.
And I think the surprise setups coming in from Light actually deal a great impact when it comes to catching Minana off guard. Unlike what we mentioned earlier, that they're able to really prepare themselves for each and every fight, that was something not or that did not happen in that fight where RSG was able to engage first. But this time around, it seems like Minana is slowly taking control again of this Lord Pit, and they do not want RSG to get the upper hand. But look at Doming. He is also positioned very well in this fight. Conceal.
A very snappy engages available here for Minana. Spider Mouse is on Conceal, but will he spotted out by the Astral Echo? See, that's really, really big. And now it's Spider Mouse going down, though, because of the pressure, because of the energy eruption as well. Demon Kite and Last Insanity with Nats. Make sure that KZen is going to be in trouble. He can't get in close range to retreat, but it's going to be an RSG fight, or will it? Look at Doming. Oh no, Doming. He lost his way there. It was a huge mountain chasing him. And Lights, the disengage from RSG is so good. There was no one available for Doming to take.
It was a surprise. I mean, they were all positioned so well, and Minana, they seemed to like get hold of that situation. But for some reason, we see how Nats was really able to time that Last Insanity also very well.
Shockingly well, yeah.
And when Kusei, or when Doming rather, decided to engage, I feel like it was a minute too late, or they were already too scattered all around that Lord Pit, and they weren't really able to work together, unlike what we really expect Minana to do whenever there are team fights.
Long and short of it, Minana Evos took a little while longer. RSG got into position so much faster, made the most of that 3-man Astral Echo. They know that whoever's in front of us now is who's ready to fight. Whoever else is joining from the flanks, we can kill whoever we have in our sight now, and that's what happened. It became a 2 for none.
It was a little shocking how Minana were looking for these targets, and then they suddenly realized, you know what, Doming's here.
Yeah.
So after that, what's he gonna do, right? So RSG, they looked into it.
Yep.
They noticed that, you know what, Minana's not taking these Lord fights right away. They're taking the fights after it.
And that's why vision is so important, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Minana Evos. For them to be able to check into a bush, they got to do it the old-fashioned way. They got to send someone there, throw a skill, or maybe in the case of Kirk, dash in their sword intent, hope for an eye if someone is in there ready with their skills, and then get out. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
RSG, they have the Astral Echo.
That's the biggest difference we're seeing in the compositions of both of these teams. They really have to go near the bushes that they check as compared to RSG with the amount of information not just the Astral Echo can provide, but even all the other skills here that Aqua has as the nonchalant leader here of RSG. But look at that.
Oh, look at this. Kirk's on the side. He's waiting. He's looking for a target, but RSG are not giving it.
No.
He's in up front. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Nom, nom, nom. It's going to be someone with a very, very thick Firaga armor, though. Last Insanity out, slides in. But here comes Lancy. They're trying to see if they can catch up on the Demon Kite, who is actually quite low, but Light is still here. He still has the kick. He activates it. Kirk is the target, and Kirk might be low. He's going to be able to dash out, though.
Close call. RSG almost came in with the collapse from the back.
Very close.
Just the same, RSG's still 2K ahead, so it's not gonna happen, not so quickly. Looking at the item game here, bring it up while we're waiting for the Lord to spawn. This is a Luminous Lord incoming. Anything interesting here?
Interesting that Spider Miles is yet to actually build his first item. He's focused on like having an item for damage. He's focused on getting defense for physical defense and magic defense, but he's yet to build an actual item, and we're 13 minutes into this game.
It's a little bit of everything.
Super Chop Sui build.
Yep.
Oh, nice. That's a beautiful engage here, but then again, it is going to be Nats, who still has that Firaga armor. He's still going to be able to get out, and here comes Kirk. Maybe he can do something, but no, with Light very close by, he says, no way, Jose, I'm not going into that one.
It's really interesting to see how RSG, they're slowly starting to anticipate the surprises from Kirk very well. Like, we don't see him getting those very impactful Electo final blows anymore whenever there's a team fight, unlike like earlier when he got that triple kill. And right now, that might just be a problem for them, since it seems like this time it's RSG's getting a better hold of how they're doing the team fights.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. They went straight for Doming and RSG. That was a very stonks pickup for them if I've ever seen one.
That was a 2-man hit squad. Now, Lancy trouble.
He's in trouble. Nat's trying to see if he can bait out multiple members of Minana, which he is doing. Kirk's Spider Mouse low, and it's going to be a disaster of a show. Minana just taking bodies on the floor.
Oh my, Kusei, he's able to have the time of his life. There's literally, he's not facing the problems we expected him to face. He isn't bothered by the presence of a Benedetta hunting him down every now and then. The Arlot who might just dash straight towards him. And it seems like RG, they're looking to end this.
seem to be very happy to go for it. That's going to be Purify denying that kick, but it doesn't matter anymore. 1v4, 1v5 is not something that Domin can do right now. It's 1-0 for RSG.
A deterministic and full of conviction push in by the Kingslayers. Minana Evos, you see what they were trying to do. You see what they were trying to set up. It's just, after RSG read them throughout the second Lord, that's it. They had nothing else, and I'd say, it's fair to say, after that moment, it's checkmate.
Yeah. So now we see how RSG is a team who, once they find a way to get hold of that early game, even if they don't like get the first few kills or the first few objectives, they can really hold that particular lead that they get. They ended this game once again in 15 minutes, and for the record, that's the average game time that they've had in the past 2 weeks, and almost all of their matches fell within that 15-minute mark.
True. And it makes sense because it looked like Minana Evos was trying to do something that they weren't used to. To be fair, they were picking fights at what, 8 or 9 minutes, and they were winning them. They were winning even turtle fights, and maybe some Lord fights until they weren't. So, with that said, there is some growth from Minana Evos. They're showing us something new. It's just they were stepping into a realm where RSG was 100% comfortable.
Yeah, and they're getting into a position where they're doing these fights without their comfort heroes. Yeah. That's very interesting for Minana. They gave away, and we're seeing the big difference between Lancy on the Novaria and Lancy on a different hero.
Yeah.
It just really is day and night.
Yeah, well, there's growth. I mean, we see it in the Arlot pickup from Spider Miles. That's
impressive, yeah.
It's very impressive. But it was not the best game for him using that Arlot. We saw him in a 0-4 standing, I think. He was denied or he was stopped each and every time he really wanted to dive in. I don't think there was an impactful final slash either from that game.
Now, every time he tried to set something up, he would have gotten bursted down. And that explains maybe why he ended up with what we would like to call a chop build. More on that here in the analysis. But first up, let's award our MVP of Game 1. Brigida, take it away.
Okay, it seems like our MVP for that game would be the gold laner here, who literally faced no problems with a total KDA of 714. And this was the type of laning you would want to see from Kusei because it blends well with what RSG Philippines really wants to do, which is to really establish the early game, and we've been saying that nonstop throughout this entire game. Now, as we've mentioned, the earliest parts of the game weren't really favorable for them. We've seen Minana try to really do something, set up some things, but even though we assumed it to be some time bought by that team for their gold laner as well, which was Doming to actually take or dominate that lane, Kusei did not let that happen. Kusei and Light, they were able to manage really well, and eventually we felt the impact or the damage that he was able to build throughout the first few minutes of the game. And even those crucial Lord fights, we've seen him secure those objectives sometimes for his team because he was just that free. He really didn't feel any pressure coming in from the opposing team, unlike what we expected the situation to be. And these were the first few times where we've seen actually decent engages coming in from Minana as well, and RSG actually feeling the pressure and somewhat being scattered. We've seen like some delayed responses, but overall, once they were really able to find or to assign themselves what they were supposed to do eventually right after this fight, which I think was the best situation or best team fight which went in favor of Minana, not the same situation never happened again. This was one of the, I think, a minute too late situations we've been talking about earlier as well, and there was, I feel like, a huge disconnection or miscommunication that happened between Minana because they were in a very beautiful positions prior to that fight, but they were just not able to coordinate it well enough to win and take advantage of it. And once RSG, they were really able to see or to actually open that opportunity towards ending that game. They did not prolong it any longer. And given just how well farmed Kusei was already at that point of the game, they were confident that they were just literally able to end that game without any thing in mind, especially as even though the death timers were very low, they really weren't able, or no other member of Minana was able to defend it anymore. And now, looking at the emblems, very standard emblems combinations we're seeing from all of these teams. RSG here really focused as well on the sustain and being tanky. So we've seen even Kirk trying to respond to the sustain that they have, the building immediately, the Sea Halberd, which we'll be looking at later on, or as you can see right now in our item builds. But one thing to point out as well is the build we see here from Spider Miles, not being able to secure or to establish a full item, even though we were already 15 minutes into the game. It was understandable he wanted to build or to have at least the early game damage and the Fury Hammer and some answers to the pressure, the damage coming in from the very well-rounded lineup here of RSG, who invested pretty well both in magic and physical damage. But then it was not enough to actually answer or to provide, since he found it really hard to engage. The problem was not really on the damage in the early stages of the game, but on how they were able to execute their skills and layer them up pretty well. There was always an immediate answer, if not to Kirk, to Spider Miles whenever he was looking for the engages, as mentioned earlier. And there was a huge difference as well in terms of how we are able to see the impact of these XP laners we've been talking about. Again, we pretty much expected the damage to come from Kirk to hunt down the damage dealers here for RSG. But Nats, on the other hand, he did the exact opposite. He went for the front, and he was literally there to absorb and to take on all the damage as well from the other members of Minana. And he did pretty well in actually trying to hold on everything. He was the sandbag here, taking up a total of 108,236 damage, and he was also able to deal out the most damage against the members of Minana, who were in the front, particularly Kaizen here, who I feel was the biggest receiver of all that, or of all the flamethrowers that he threw in that entire time. And interestingly here, we've mentioned in the first few minutes of the game that RSG might just really capitalize on the vision, and it did not immediately come here from Aqua, but also from Light. So we see Light roaming around the map almost in every part of the map and providing the necessary information here so Aqua could also hit the necessary targets. And all those in total came together, or they really worked together pretty well. Like the vision coming in from Aqua, the information coming in here from Light, and the other members of RSG, they just really showed us how it was to pull off a great team fight.
I think it's not just a matter of RSG doing the right thing, because Minana Evos actually presented a threat. They just exactly knew how to answer that threat, and I'd like to think maybe going into game 2, first halfway into the draft, it was clear that Minana Evos might be going down the same path, right? And then they swerve us with the Arlet in Rome.
Out of nowhere.
So something tells me maybe they readjust. They have to recalibrate. That's my take here.
It was a very, I would say, valiant effort to kind of adjust on the fly.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, it didn't feel like they were ready for it just yet. Maybe not yet.
They'll definitely have to grip hard on their Infinix GT series. That's brought to you by Infinix. Outplay the Rest, the official sponsor of MPL Philippines Season 13.
Yeah, be unstoppable and outplay the rest with Infinix.
All right, real quick, reminding everyone, Vexana's high-rarity Zenith skin, Twisted Fairy Tale, is now available from March 25 to April 30th. So about a month left in here. Participate in the draw event and enjoy 30% off on your first 10 draw and 50% off your first daily single draw.
And you can even stand a chance to win Vixana's battle emote, I'm the Queen! Elimination effect, and Apple of Doom, and other amazing skins. So join in the fun and draw now.
All right, going back into looking for your power spike, because this game 1 loss, right? This doesn't change anything. If you still win the series, you still get 3 points.
Yes.
Minana Evo still on the road to maybe finding their power spike. But RSG here just got to win one more and deny Minana Evos taking their time in the break and then just going with the dub.
Yeah, I think both of these teams really want those points. They're in
Middle
very similar positions in the standings.
Both of them.
In terms of game standing as well, I think one's 3-7 and one's 3-8. So
There you go.
they really want those points.
And the question is, where will this power spike come from? Who will be the key to climbing out of that rut? We previously said it might be Demon Kite here, who is also a fur daddy, but also a real-life daddy. Congratulations.
Hey!
And actually, I did not know this. Spider Mouse is also a fur daddy who has 2 Persian cats.
Stacy and Peebo?
I want to meet Stacy and Peebo. Can we make it happen, Miles?
Can we have a pet day here or something?
Oh.
Maybe.
Speaking of pet day, there might just be an actual pet day.
I think that's April 11th.
Oh.
Sheesh.
National Pet Day.
Happy pet day.
Amazing. And of course, Demon Kai also has Heaven. What about you guys? Who are your pets? What are your pets' names? Comment down below.
If you have any cats.
I'm curious.
I'm a big cat guy. You know that I have two cats as well, like Cups and Castle.
Yeah.
Your baby just turned 1.
Yeah, my Persian Nia also turned 1.
Oh, it's also a Persian cat.
Yeah, Persians
I
are cool.
have dogs. Wait, why are we carrying them?
Oh, this is how I carry Cups and Castle.
Oh.
Castle is also Persian. Cups is a Scottish fold, but
Yeah.
all right. Anyways,
That's how you carry them?
Yep, they're just dudes. They're just big, fat cats. Anyways, back into the action here. Demon Kite, we thought would be the key to the power spike.
Yep.
Game 1 MVP, Kusei. Something tells me if they're able to make Kusei feel more confident and have him be enabled, empowered all throughout, he might lead RSG back into podium finish position.
Yeah, Kusei, despite not playing obviously in their S9 prime, still really did show a lot of promise. Like, he did show promise a lot when he was also transferring in other regions. So, yeah, this is his time. For sure.
And I think we've mentioned how the impact of the change in their gold laner was slightly felt in the first few weeks, but we've had quite a long break, and I think it was enough time for them to slowly see that this is how we should actually let Kusei play his game.
That's
because
right.
this is the way that they can all the more take hold of their power spike, as we mentioned in the Keys to Victory, which is in the early game, early to mid stages of the game.
Kusei's way.
Kusei is the way.
Kusei's
right?
the way.
Kusei is the way, and I'm not just saying this because he's a close friend, former player, but because you put respect on his name. He is a Kamai King. He is an MPL PH champion. So he has 2 MPL championships now. All right, so put respect on his name. Oh my Mao. For MLE though, talking about Nana Evos, who might help them? Who might get them across the line and maybe take us to Game 3? We'll find out here. We start with the draft. I assume Minana Evos going to be on the play, as they should be.
Oh, okay.
So here we go. I think one of the biggest things that they maybe can take note of is, you know, you threw 2 people out of their comforts. Number 1, Spider Miles back on a huge engage support. Maybe reel him back in.
Yep.
Or maybe just put Kirk back on the Arlot. Just choose one. Don't do both.
Don't do both.
Right?
That might just be the plan though, since Minana Evos right now, they're slowly taking out the assassins who are very high in mobility. The Fanny, which surprisingly will be their priority ban in this game. So it's been a while, but then it's Demon Kite we're talking about. They have to take out that smile from him. And they're going to complete their first 3 bans targeting Demon Kite, all assassins right now.
I actually have to commend Imba DJ not forgetting, you know, Demon Kite's roots.
Yeah.
The way where he started.
Okay, something tells me this is less about targeting Demon Kite. Yes, it's a byproduct, but it's more of allowing Minana Evos to do Minana Evos things. If you allow an assassin to snowball, forget about crossing the 15-minute line.
Yep.
So that's where I'm seeing this go. But this is interesting.
Oh.
By banning the Rafaela, RSG still are on the ham plan, even when they're on red. So what is this? What does it mean? Minana Evos go for Arlot now?
The Arlot might not be the answer, since earlier Matilda, Angela, and Minotaur were banned. So right now that it's been available for Spider Miles, I think they decide to prioritize this. Again, going back to the idea that they might want to play around their comfort picks, since that's what worked best for them in the past few weeks.
Correct. So working on that one, they secure obviously a huge setter hero, and they also can, you know, if ever you pick an Arlot here, it actually works very well. It combos very well with the Minotaur.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if RSG is willing to take that maybe Nats in the Nats' hands or Light, but more likely Nats.
Yeah,
it's
they
doable.
Might.
It's doable.
All right, here we
Either
go.
way.
Arlot and Fredrin picked up by RSG. Check it out, top 3 players, all gold laners. We still have yet to see what Doming picks here in game number 2. Doming is actually number 1 with 34 so far.
Most kills.
Alongside the Filipino sniper Oheb and M5 world champion Super Marco.
Yeah, so you know they're really in it for the action.
Yep. Something to note, again, how the stats are skewed against Marco is because they've actually all won sweeps. So that's why he has less kills, less reps.
And quick games.
There you
go.
Exactly.
Whereas Minana, super long games.
Take it all the way.
Tail.
Every single time. Here we go. Closing up the second phase. Okay, are we going to recalibrate and slightly realign back into the normal in the meta and get a gold laner now?
That's like a good idea.
Well, they won't. So we've been talking about comfort picks, and I feel like it's the theme for their first 3 picks, because for Spider Miles, he gets hold of the Minotaur, Kaizen, the Barats, and Lancy.
Where's the Nova?
I was actually waiting for
Where's
it.
the Novaria?
Where's the Novaria?
So they just want to lean hard into these fights?
it seems like the early game is something they really want to contest, and at the same time, I feel like Clancy might just be more confident in playing the Lilia as compared to the Novaria. I mean, you can also hunt for the Novaria while using the Lilia.
Well, you know what? You were talking about making a box. This is one of the most crazy boxes we've ever seen, right? You have an exploding Minotaur and KZen who's willing to take anybody and then just glooms everywhere.
Yeah, no.
That's a great box.
You populate the box. It's a hurt box.
Fill it up.
It's a hurt box of magic. So now RSG have to respect that. Weirdly enough, the cores are off the picture. We don't know where the main damage source for both teams are going to come from. The killers going into second phase.
Yeah.
There's one. There's the Claude.
So surprisingly, for this series at least, we're not really seeing the gold laners being prioritized. So they're left to be picked in the second phase of the draft, and they're slowly steering away from what we typically expect, such as the carry, such as the Claude or the Bruno. We've seen, like for the first game, it was a Harith and a Nathan for these two teams.
Which is weird because now in the metagame, maybe more than ever in the past 2 or 3 years, again, in modern MLBB esports history, Gold Lane is actually cracked wide open. Besides the carry, Claude, Bruno, and Brody, which are, I'd say, top 4 heroes right now, you still have the Clint, Harriet, Beatrix, Nathan, Ruby, Freya, Layla in gold. And now even Masha might be making a run for it.
I love that you kind of slowly, sneak the Freya right there.
Even Roger, yeah. Even Roger, I didn't mention it. But yes, yes.
Freya, bro.
Well, I mean, even for the Fredrin, the Masha might just be a very huge threat since the recent adjustments made on this hero make her capable of even shredding down the tankiest heroes like Fredrin. And they definitely would not want that ultimate coming in from Masha.
She feels like she might have been overtuned because every time an now just in case y'all don't know, right? Every time she loses an HP bar, she becomes CC immune and immune from 1 bit of damage after.
One bit.
What? It's basically a stop click for those of y'all who play hero clicks, like a tabletop game. It's like 1 hit, that's it, I'm free. It's like a Firaga armor pop.
Yeah. So it's like she'll just get that. So regardless of how much crowd control you place on this hero, so long as she loses an HP bar, she'll be able to break free, literally, and run away because she's just that fast whenever she activates her first skill as well. So right now that they took that out of the picture, the remaining gold laners, actually, if we were to think of it, might just be the carry. Okay, so right now they're definitely, or they're finally going to pick it up.
So yeah, the damage there. You know what? Minana's been trying to see if they can take care of the box here by removing the X-Borg. But you know what? The damage from the carry can really rip into either one of these heroes, the Minotaur or this Barat. So they're still in trouble.
They just have to be very selective now. Instead of it being the X-Borg, which will hurt overall, especially since we know that Nats is so good at placing himself, they have to now be careful of that super late game spike. So now maybe RSG is sending the message, hey, if you take this past the 15-minute mark, we're just as dangerous.
Yep. Actually, to think about it, if you think about it, there's also the CC available if they might, but they won't get the CC. It's a Thanos for Kirk this time. So if we're talking about engage, then they just really want to go for the all-out engages and team fights. And I feel like the early game right now for Minana, it's going to be very action-packed. It's kind of scary if you think about it, because they have all these resources in Thamos, the Lilia, and even the Minotaur. So what could the... Oh, the Grok.
It's got dive written all over it. The answer from RSG, an instant bit of CC. Dear Lord, that's 3 big CCs. I mean, 2.5, because you're waiting for the Fred. You're waiting for the Fred, but look at that, the Grok and the Arlott.
Very explosive lineup. You need that wall. You need that wall to stop that 5-man rampaging lineup going in your face. So that Grok is actually pretty good, I would say.
So they have a lot of ways to also disrupt the positioning that Minana Evos wants to pull off in this fight. But what we're really looking out for in this match as we started in a few is like how are they exactly going to play around these heroes, because it's up against RSG and you make one mistake in the early game, they're going to take that early game away from you.
And it's not like RSG has no punish, right? It's clear that yes, their damage is scaling, but we've seen them do amazing things with a lineup like this. So now going into game number 2, it's match point for the Kingslayers. Folks at home watching, do you believe it's truly checkmate with this Grok pickup and the hard dive that Minana Evos have committed themselves to? Are we even seeing game 3? Who you got, RSG PH or MNNE? Both junglers just wailing away at their first buffs, and it's a counter start.
Yeah, press 1 for Minana and press 2 for RSG on the comment section.
Just type it out.
Or type it out. Exactly. It's so interesting because right now, obviously, Minana's going back to doming on a Hive. So I think they really practiced something on the on the break here.
They really want to do something with this Hive in the hands of doming, but the early to Wanderer as well and the rotations, instead they're coming in from Minana. I'd expect that RSG with the Grok in their hands would be able to like clear waves faster and rotate faster together with the Novaria, but we're not seeing that situation. It seems like Spider Miles, he's just staying beside Light whenever he goes somewhere in this map.
All right. Looking at just the potential macro, right? Look at how easy RSG is crossing into Minana Evos' territory, into the jungle, even before the turtle spawns. I'm worried about Kirk. This is one of the few times that Kirk actually has no CC.
Very rare time, and we'll also see Lancey, who does not have the black shoes yet. Just dodging out of there, and of course making sure that Aqua doesn't hit him with that Star Shatter.
Okay, so somehow, even if Minana Evos was able to take the early rotations here, it didn't really benefit them.
Super risky right now for Minana. Oh boy! You saw it coming. We all saw it coming. First blood for RSG.
Already a man down, Minana Evos. This is going to be a difficult turtle take for them as RSG make a beeline.
Hazen being poked here, and even Lancey.
Oh no!
He will be taken out. And that's 2 consecutive casualties here for Minana.
Yeah, valiant effort right now here. Obviously, Light is going to have to use the wild charge to get out. But then again, the hits from Aqua are really making a dent here on the HP bars of Minana.
It's a matter of inches now. Nat's deep in.
Nat's very deep, very confident here with a final slash as well. They have to make it out of there, uses a flicker just to make sure he doesn't die. And this is basically RSG capitalizing on Minana's lack of early game damage.
Wow! Almost attempted the purple steal too, but Lancey says no.
No, they.
That's a sound effect, right? No.
That was me.
That
was you?
No, that was Bren.
I thought that was in-game. Oh my goodness.
Alex, look at the items.
Oh my. But I also thought it was in-game. But right now, we're seeing a slightly different, or actually it's not that different. They're RSG right now, they're really being aggressive as well, focusing on getting those early damages here. We've seen several Fury Hammers as well, and you definitely would want to control or actually hold on to this lead that you already have if you were this team. But knowing RSG, they definitely will be able to pull that off. I mean, look at them now. They're being extra careful as well. They're not overextending anymore when they know that they have to resume and farm for a bit. I feel like we will be expecting them to show up later on once we are anticipating the next turtle. But before that...
Oh boy, this top lane is becoming such a huge focus here for RSG with one more kill. And basically, RSG taking down Kirk with ease. Kaizen can only watch, basically, and everyone's screaming in the arena. I don't know why.
All right.
But
it's because it's Nats entertainment. It's Nats time.
Oh, we're back to that era.
He's going Nats.
Right.
He scored 3 of the major categories from game 1. And now he's here. He's feeling himself.
Actually.
Everyone's very excited to see Nats back at it again.
So we recall how RSG is in a completely different form whenever Nats is activated or whenever he gets to perform the way he's been performing, especially during their prime. So right now, we're seeing them, once again, they might just take on or really control this turtle pit.
Here we go. Watch the wall. Check Light. He's able to turn things around just like this. Turtle out a 5th of its health. Astral Echo!
And there you go. A flicker in straight into a wild charge, but it will still be a Minana turtle And the follow-up team fight actually is favoring Minana quite heavily. Aqua not really hitting the damage that you need. Demon Kite gonna fall here, but Kirk as well gonna be the answer by RSG.
Those were some beautifully timed knockups coming in from Spider Miles, canceling even the Appraiser's Wrath and a lot of supposed crowd control skills coming in from RSG. So that was clearly a moment for Minana to actually take control of the game and eventually secure the turtle for themselves.
Not just, I guess, even Kaizen. The fact that he held on with just that little bit of health, holding out and saying, you know what, we're committed to taking the turtle. Let's even the odds here. Make sure that the boat don't come in, feel disappointed. We might even lose a 2-0. If anything, it's a close game. We might even see game 3 here now, given how Minana was fighting back.
Nothing too crazy right now, but of course, that's a lot of resources, ultimates being used by RSG to see if they can take down Doming. This might be an opportunity for Minana to clap back here with Spider Miles having the Minoan Fury ready.
Right now, they know that there's no wild charge anymore in the hands of Light, but it seems like they won't be looking for the fights. In the meantime, there's a level gap already existing between these two XP leaders. There's so much action which happened in the top lane, but right now it might just be the time for us to focus a bit on the bottom lane. It seems like the gold in the hands of Kusei is slowly actually piling up, so he might just be a huge threat if lit this way afterwards.
I'd give him maybe 3 more minutes. Going into Lord territory. Once we're in Lord territory and it's the same story and Kusei isn't even given any bit of pressure, then Minana Evos is in trouble. But as it is, they've closed the gap, down about 200 gold, and it looks like they're actually jockeying for position for this next turtle, 10 seconds away. This is actually looking 50-50.
Yeah, I think Minana Evos is feeling confident because they found a way to deal with Aqua. You know, the way that they deal with the Novaria, just play straight close to the face.
Yep.
The Novaria can't really do that much with that range.
That's at range. Even Light, they know how to stop Light. They're
True
able to threaten a big knockup and then close the gap. Oh wait, huge Astro Echo.
Wow.
No secrets here.
We're not gonna bring that up, but look at this. It's also a huge final slash, and he catches Nats on the way out. And the knockups are beautiful. Look at the beautiful box that Minana have created here. And the damage is real, but Kirk's still not gonna be able to sustain that long though.
They're short on range though, Rockhard. They're short on range.
The range is a problem.
They couldn't finish off Demon Kite or Light. And just like that, gives enough time for RSG to actually reset and maybe give Minana something to think about. The bottom, whoa.
Oh man, that's a Purify. I think used the, was it? No, it wasn't.
He just dashed right out.
He just dashed right out, yeah.
He's on Flicker.
He was on Flicker, wait,
He's
bro.
on Flicker.
He's on Flicker, exactly.
What?
Doming.
Nasty. That's confidence.
That's Daredevil moves right there.
Oh, but there? Okay.
Okay, so this one is going to be a free turtle.
Yep.
RSG and Minana, they reached a gentleman's agreement there.
Yeah, surprisingly.
But what's the fight going to look like here?
Yes. Actually, if we look at or recall what just happened earlier, that could have been a very beautiful place for Minana to pull off that fight, and it was in a very narrow, what do you call this?
Corridor.
Yeah. So the knock-up coming in from the Minoan Fury was felt by almost everyone, but we have to acknowledge, I think, the sustain or the tankiness that some or certain members here or the frontliners of RSG already have. They really didn't fall down during that instance, and at the same time, we just slowly felt how they were able to also manage to give Kusei and the rest of the members here enough space to free hit and to damage the members of Minana all the while those were happening. So even the wild charge here was timed pretty well from Light to target just Kirk. So even though he was using the Vengeance at that time, they were able to already dish out the necessary damage taken down. But Minana, they're looking to get the objectives, the turrets this time, and the RSG. Okay, that was a Daytona's welcome that did not connect.
All right, Minana knows they have a really strong kill box, and they're not afraid to use it, but look at this, RSG, they're playing around it. They're trying to pick it off, part by part, seeing if they can separate the biggest components and make it easy for them, make the fight easier for them.
And this separation, it's making things harder for Minana Evos because at every turn, at every point, we just saw there maybe a minute ago, they tried to push down bottom, but RSG denied it. So there's nothing to trade for in that top lane tier 1, and that's making it harder for Minana Evos to actually fight for these major objectives. Lord spawning in about 20, and even again, same story as minute 1. RSG's crossing the river a little too comfortably for Minana Evos' taste. And that's going to be hard for Doming to have to catch up. It's not very often that you find those moments where they're stuck in little corridors like that.
That's true.
RSG won't allow that, not so quickly, not so easily.
Yeah, and even for the frontliners here of Minana who actually want to slightly show themselves to RSG, they will immediately get poked here, and they are starting to feel how they won't be hesitating or be thinking twice whenever they see someone who they can target. But right now, it's Light currently hiding, will be scouted here by KZen, but RSG, they're also all together and ready, but the reset will happen once again.
Look at the long lane management here. RSG are constantly checking in on that. And yes, they're allowing Minana Evos to now take some space up, but Demon Kite is always taking that top flank. So it's allowing for them to actually still control, not just vision, not just space, but even how hard or how deep you're going into committing.
Yeah, super crucial what that we saw there as well. We saw Doming use the flicker.
That's huge.
Because of the roam. Because of the conceal.
Whoa!
And there you go, the flicker that we're seeing. The wild charge is insane from Light. But he might have to pay for it with his life, though.
Oh my.
That's
Fight's
too
still ongoing.
expensive.
And look at that. Nats actually used up quite a lot to get behind enemy lines. And Kirk, he's starting to get tankier compared to earlier.
It's expensive, but it's worth it. A roamer for a gold laner.
Very worth.
He read into it. And dear Lord. Speaking of, literally, they're going for the Lord here. Took a while, 11 minutes in, but now it's just down to a fifth of its health. KZen looking for the steal.
Nats is being so pesky right now here. While Minana are trying to get into retribution range, and now the fight might actually favor them instead.
All right, they're pushing back. They're falling back. RSG, take the Lord, suffer a trade, and walk away with it. I think they're happy with it, but they lose some on the way. They lose a turret, and they lose Crusade.
That engage taking out Doming of the picture was something that Minana definitely did not expect at the time. The Respo, it came a bit too late. And the Astral Meteor, imagine, Aqua was that close to their target to be able to just use the Astral Meteor to take him out, not even the Star Shatter. He was just really facing Doming at that moment. And Light, I think that was a really great sacrifice coming in from him. And even though Minana, we see them actually occasionally trying to take some trades or punishing some members or really extending themselves in the team fights, such as we've seen Lancy do towards Aqua and Kusei, they don't really get to convert it in the same way that RSG is consistently doing. We are seeing the outer turret slowly being taken down here by RSG.
Whoa!
There you go. The engagement that they need is actually happening right before their eyes. The box is being activated as we speak, and Minana are able to defend, at least for the meantime.
And they're able to go 1 for 1, 2 for 1 now. Kirk's fallen, and with that, RSG are happy with what they got. They took a tier 2 up top, and Minana Evos are left reeling. It's not an easy go. Minana Evos still in this. 3K ahead for RSG, and they're going for more.
They seem to be able to take more here with Kusei and a big tank minion up on mid. So that's another T2 going down for Minana.
That's all of them now.
Oh no.
That's all of them now. Lord coming in about a minute and a half. And just like that, Minana Evos have to consider. Good thing that they have great wave clear. They have, again, mid-range wave clear, but their solid front line allows for them to do that relatively safely.
Yeah, and the difference is that we're seeing how RSG, they're able to really calculate to who they're using their skills up against. The engages coming in from Nats, they're very beautifully executed, but right now, Lancy, speaking of...
Watch out!
He's not playing around here, forces Light to use that wild charge.
That is why you feel, or we feel, how confident Lancy is whenever he gets his hands on the Lilia, because he's able to perform that way. He's actually able to bring so much impact that you don't often notice whenever there's a very messy team fight that's happening, because he's literally just looking for the targets and using all his glooms on those targets. All the while, probably RSG is focused on taking down either Kirk or avoiding the setups coming in from Spider Miles.
All right, you're getting me confused now. I don't know what I like now better. Lancy on a Lilia, which is like a close range to mid-range mage, or Lancy on a Novaria, which is a long-range mage, because he's proven himself. Again, at the most clutch of times, 30 minutes, 35 minutes in, he rarely misses his recalls, rarely misses his echoes. So now, with this Luminous Lord spawning, it's RSG first to the scene. Final slash!
Oh.
It's the conceal activated here for RSG, so they won't have that available, but they will be able to take out KZen, which is huge here for RSG. And they could take it. It's a 4v5, so Minana have to be careful. They still have that box. Kirk is actually quite tanky still, but they don't have the retribution, and they know it. RSG knows it. They're forcing Minana back.
Kingslayer score, a Lord here, 2 in a row. Luminous gonna be marching up top. This is huge. Minana Evos, I don't know why they stayed maybe a second too longer. Maybe they were thinking, hey, Doming is here. We have a big Minoan Fury. We can force something.
Yeah, try to bait it.
But
yeah.
RSG spacing themselves out, and RSG throw out a huge Astral Echo, which allows them to confirm, hey, they're not in a position to do so.
Yeah, and they also kind of lost the, I think, the aggression that they could have used, since there was no more ultimate here for Lancy. He was immediately forced to use the black shoes. And right now that they're managing the lanes pretty well, RSG, they're definitely looking to take down these inhibitor turrets. Minana Evos, if we were to look at their lineup, they have this capability of actually going for the counter engage or turning around the fights, so long as they might just want to go for the engage first, because if Nats once again finds the perfect opportunity, such as a while ago, that might not be the same situation.
Oh, Nats, he used up the final slash there, trying to see if he can bait out someone to use a flicker, and that will be on cooldown for the next few seconds. Now the push is happening here on bottom side. They clear those minions.
They take care of that Lord, but they do lose inhibitor. Take a chunk out of top, little bit off of bottom, mid rather that is, and then a little bit of bottom. So far, I'd say the Harith in Doming's hands is still a threat. He just has to find the right time to do so. But what's troubling me is the macro picture. All of Minana Evos' damage, or at least the solid core type of damage, is magic.
Yep. That is why they feel that is a huge problem. But speaking of problem...
Yeah, big problems brewing here with Lancy quite low. And the final slash being used to force Kirk out of the base. He uses everything but the kitchen sink to just try to stay alive. And that looks like Minana is just going to have to wait again for the next minion waves. That's all the gold they're getting.
Yeah, you can also feel how RSG is actually being very patient or respectful of the capabilities of Minana to actually turn things around. Again, they still know that Spider Miles can pull off that Flicker Minoan Fury surprise attack whenever they try to commit or extend too long, and there is a Lord that's coming in 50 seconds. So they can't afford to lose a member now that we've reached the 16-minute mark. And again, RSG, they typically end their games within 15 minutes.
And that's important because RSG are all playing with flickers. None of them have any panic buttons. None of them have like a Purify. None of them. Aqua's the closest thing we've got with the Astral Recall. Like the way that he's able to move
around,
out and phase out, right? That's why he's the one allowed to do this. Look at this, how close he is.
Yeah, he can do stuff like that and still make a good escape because he can go through walls.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep, and again, RSG are playing with that range. They're playing with or against Minana Evos' solid box with range and vision. And which is why I'm curious, in the draft, Minana Evos, they decided to draft this heavily, this aggressively. All dive, all coming in.
Well, speaking of aggressively, they go straight for Kazin, who procced it. Activated the Winter Trussion very early on to make sure he doesn't go down again. But look at the follow-up wild charge here from Light. It is huge. It take out the two main tanks of Minana, and the chase is on.
Oh, they committed the Zaman Force. They committed the Deathness Welcome. Canceled it at the last minute, and RSG punished them hard. 2 for none, plus an evolved Lord all the way. RSG, big dub.
You would typically think that it was the moment for the disengage. There was a Lord that will be picked up right after, but Light thought that no, since you did not commit the Minoan Fury, and we all thought that you would, which caused us to go for, or to actually move back a bit, then we will go for the engage this time. And that really eventually turned into the 2 kills that was able to force or cause RSG to confidently take this Lord, this 18-minute Lord that's currently in their hands.
Just when you thought he was safe with the Winter Truncheon, Light just makes such a huge move. It's impressive.
Could have been the perfect turnaround, the perfect bait play, but there was a little bit of a little bit of hesitation that caused Minana Evos to be on the receiving end of this huge siege. RSG already inside their base. The Kingslayers want to come in, the Raiders. All the waves coming through top, mid, and bottom. And they're going to take care of the Lord, though.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, a successful defense by Minana.
Their box is still pretty good, but it's starting to become softer and softer the more items Aqua accumulates. That's a big problem here with this one.
Yeah, but also another thing that we might probably want to pay attention to is how this is slowly turning into Minana's timers as well. Like, this is the mid to late game where we've seen Minana perform and actually make those very game-changing decisions whenever we reach this point of the game. So now that even if we're seeing them in this very difficult situation with no inhibitor turrets left, and I think just one inhibitor turret taken down from RSG, this might just slowly turn into a time where Minana, they will be able to pull off those surprise decisions that even I might not expect them to do.
It is almost hukbo hour, as they say. About 15 seconds away from the 20-minute mark. Looking at HH. Looking at RSG PH's items, again, every single one of them has some form of magic defense, except for Aqua.
It's
because
huge.
again, he can walk away. He can just step away with it with the Astral Recall. So with that said, again, Minana Evos have to very carefully place and cater their damage out to RSG.
Yep.
And that's difficult. That's so much easier said than done.
Yeah, I think the one who's most prepared to take on the damage is Raymond Kai, but wait!
Yeah, they actually absorb so much damage. Lancey used up everything, but the kid just going to get back into the game here. But Kosei looks like he's really scary. Kaizen can't sustain against that long against carry.
Okay, so good news and bad news. Minana Evos, no one died. They
one
were
died.
able to
That's
walk
good.
away with it.
Yeah.
Bad news is it doesn't help their situation. The rest of the waves are still crashing into their base. It's not like they can make it any closer to this Lord spawning in the upper quarter of the map here. RSG still 7k ahead.
Yeah.
But every minute that passes, again, by hook or by crook, I can't give any logical reasoning to this. There's no science to it. None of it just gets better and better into the late game.
I can start to feel how the pressure is slowly getting higher. Whenever there's a clash, if you're here in the venue, the drums just start to play right when there's a clash. So you can start to feel all the more pressure. But right now, there's the Lord that's spawned here on the top lane. And this might just be a very crucial Lord for both of these teams.
Here we go. RSG, Nanae, they're saying let's dance. Demon Kite pushing Kaizen away. Lord here at a fourth of its fifth. And they go in!
Yeah, everyone's on vision right now because of the Astral Echo. And Kaizen is going to be up to it. He dies right away again. He's the first to fall, followed by Spider Miles. The last three members of Minana are trying to stay alive, but it's becoming harder and harder to do that as time goes on. Doming's in the back line, activates the Zaman Force, going for someone to take down, and he takes out Kosei.
Oh no! He's gonna lose his immortality. Not enough shields. Aqua takes him down.
He loses it. It's all up to Kirk now. And what's it gonna be?
The mid lane.
The mid lane's walking. They don't need the Lord. That just definitely will be it.
22 minutes in. RSGPH get a win. A sweep against Minana Evos.
What a way to end that game. A 2-0 sweep. That's 3 points for RSG. They definitely wanted this. And I think their performance speaks volumes of how badly they really wanted to get this win.
That was very insane. And the way that, you know what, RSG is just knowing what to do time and time again. And I think they did realize their win condition, right? They don't have escape buttons. They have flickers to engage, and they use it to its full potential.
Luckily, they were, 5k, 6k, consistently all throughout, mid, late, and then crossing the 20-minute mark. I'll have to be honest with you, folks. I actually thought Minana Evos almost got something. They were building up to it, but the logic and the fundamentals of the game just did not allow for it. It was so hard for them to actually place anything on to RSG. That was a clear threat. So here we see the Kingslayers, RSGPH crossing over to Minana Evos' camp, giving their fist bumps, sportsmanship and respect across both franchises. And again, as a fan of Minana Evos, right, as a member of the Okbo, you gotta be wondering, where else do they go? How can they fix things? It was a long break. They had a lot of time.
Yeah, it felt like they changed up quite a bit, especially with that Game 1 draft. But it didn't really hit it. It didn't stick. So where do they go from here?
Yeah, I think we're seeing how they really have to hold on what they think or they know works for them. But RSG, it seems like they really know what works for them this time.
We're going to go to the stage with Mara and Hans to talk about RSG's win.
Congratulations to RSG Philippines. Let's give them a round of applause. It's nice to see you again, guys.
Wait lang, tutulak ko sila dyan banda ha. Medyo lumalayo sila sa'yo eh.
Palagi sila lumalayo sa akin. You guys had a nice, almost 2-week break. What did you guys do? Did you guys get to see your family or was it all training? Saan ka nakatingin? Anong iniisip mo habang tinitignan mo yung sahig?
Nag-practice pa rin, tapos konting break lang, tapos yun, continue ulit this week yung practice ko.
Okay. Nag-practice pa din, konting break lang.
Okay, I also wanna commend si Kosei. Like, can you give the, Kosei? Kasi ngayon parang mas evident yung naging laro mo compared to the previous 2 weeks, specifically in this series. Power spikes, ano ba nangyari during the break na parang sobrang, are you now more comfortable in MPL PH? Yung adjustment is finally done na ba? Tapos na?
Oo, nakapag-adjust na ako sa adjustment sa MPL PH and nakakatapang na ako. Nalalaro ko na yung laro ko.
Nakakatapang na.
And kampante na rin ako sa kampe ko.
You love to see it.
At eto naman, para to kay Nats. Nats, perfect game, 3-0-8 with your R-Lot. In fact, nung first lumabas yung hero. Wait, tapos na yung laban. Tapos na yung laban. Hold on. Nung unang lumabas yung R-Lot, only mga 2 MPL players did really well, dominated with it, ikaw and Edward. But Kirk, he's #1 global. He's global R-Lot right now.
One of the
highest
best.
win rate. Pero we all know ikaw ang unang magaling humawak kay R-Lot. So para sa'yo, sino ba talaga yung mas magaling?
Para sa akin, kahit sino naman po sa R-Dot. Kung sino mo talaga
Ba't bigla ka nahiya? Kanina palaban to, tapos biglang nahiya. No, seriously, ito to.
Pantay-pantay lang po para sa akin kasi sa R-Dot lang po Sadyang sa team fight lang po talaga is kailangan communication sa team. Yan lang po.
Kaya, okay. You know, may napansin din ako, Hans.
Ano yan?
Na ang lumabas today, si Coach Daliot.
I agree. And I think everybody else is happy about it.
Yeah, we're all wondering, Coach Panda, you know what? We've all known you as a perfectionist. You want things done a certain way. But this time, you took a step back, and now Coach Daliot took over. What is it that you saw in Coach Daliot that now he took over for today's series?
Sabi ko ba ito ang reason? Ano lang po ata, kaya lang ba ata si Coach Daliot po yung fist bump is para po sa player ng si Yan. Yun lang po.
Gusto ko sana magkaroon ng moment sa dati kong player na coach ngayon ng Minana, si Coach Bitoy. Pero iba yung iba yung nag-fist bump sa akin, so medyo malungkot ako ngayon.
Anong message niyo sa kanya?
Kay Bitoy po, proud na proud po ako kay Bitoy kung nasan man siya ngayon. And hopefully na magkaroon pa kami ng mga exciting laban, especially sa next round. So, yun.
I feel like this time around, alamin natin kung sino nga ba yung Game 2 MVP because of a stellar performance. So I feel like it's now time.
Who do you guys think it is? MVP for Game 2?
All right, I'm hearing some names.
I hear some. And the MVP is Nats. Nats, congratulations. Ikaw ang MVP. Anong gusto mong sabihin sa lahat ng mga supporters niya?
First of all, thank you po sa mga nanood ngayon and thank you rin sa mga teammates kasi pinakita namin na kaya pa din namin and thank you lang sa mga coach dahil sa magandang draft nila and thank you sa lahat.
All right, congratulations once again. Let's give him a big round of applause. And RSG Philippines, you may now take your bow. And take your walk of victory. RSG Philippines, kitang-kita na super worth it yung ating break. They swept their opponent with a stellar performance.
Just like what Kuseas mentioned a while ago, mas may tapang na ang laro ng mga Raiders and we can't wait to see what the others will say about this too.
And let's see what the casters have to say about that game. Casters, pasok.
What's up, Doc? We're back at the desk here with Brigida, Rockhart, and of course, Leo at your service. Very well earned MVP performance there by Nats for game number 2, and they're right. When you're looking for a power spike, you have to find it across the board, and how he set it up to be Demon Kite, eventually it turned out to be the 2 side laners, Kusei and Nats. Brigida, talk to us exactly why it's Nats who's the MVP.
Right now, I think we have to give it to Nats simply because of just how impactful the final slashes were in this particular game as compared to what we've seen from that R-Lot in game number 1. This or this time, this Arlott had all the more opportunities to really go in. There wasn't much answer to just the engages or the dives that RSG wanted to go for up against Minana Evos. Again, we've seen them pick up the thumbs instead of any other XP laner who could have also provided some crowd control, and they were very reliant on Spider Miles here to provide the main crowd control here for their team. So they actually found it to be quite a struggle when it came to the latter portions of the game, and as we've seen it right now here, there were a lot of objectives that were really in favor of RSG, and these were those moments we were talking about where Nats was really able to shine, just providing the best possible setups right when the Lord was already near that inhibitor turret, and when all of his teammates were also near to provide the follow-up and the damage. And this, I think, is one of the biggest things that was lacking in terms of how Minana played their lineup earlier today. So there were times when they were kind of hesitant when wanting to go for the engage, and this was one of the few times that they weren't. But Spider Miles, upon actually deciding to pull off this Minoan Fury, Doming was way too far, or there was a lack of immediate follow-up coming in from Minana. And we're seeing right now that the moment Doming decided to use that Salmon Force, he was already surrounded by the rest of the members of RSG, and there was little to no help that could be provided to him. Also, simply because Kirk, he was also busy doing his thing, and he eventually was chased down by the other members here of RSG. So there were a lot of times wherein they did not feel like they were able to really connect or communicate well in terms of what they wanted to do, in terms of how they wanted to layer their skills, as well as their plans when executing and pulling off a team fight. But ultimately, it was really also because RSG, they also already knew what they had to do with their lineup and with their teammates and how they were supposed to help and aid one another. Surprisingly, Aqua also chose the Rapid Boots for his build here. So aside from the fact that he was the one who was most capable of actually really showing up in the front lines or dealing the pokes against Minana, he also had that additional movement speed which allowed him to be a little bit more higher in terms of mobility. So he was able to escape better as compared to the typical Navaria using the Astral Recall or just to passing through the walls. So right now, we're also seeing the amount of damage that was dealt here by both of our mid laners, significantly higher compared to the rest, but also we have to give it to Aqua for being the carry in this game. So using this Novaria, who did not have the magic pin boots, instead the rapid boots, he was able to deal the highest damage among all members in this match. And Demon Kite, who also decided, or who was the only player who decided to pick up the Radiant Armor earlier, could show us here just also how well-rounded his farming pattern was and how all around or all over the map he was able to be whenever his teammates needed him as well. So I think that was one of the biggest things that could set apart like how Demon Kite was able to perform in this game in all previous games. He was really there to support and take the hit for his team. So he was ready to take on the glooms from a Lancy here as compared to all the other members, and that was able to really help them pretty well in positioning and getting the free hits for the rest of the damage dealers.
All right, as early as 5 minutes you saw Demon Kite going everywhere, and that just supports my own personal theory that junglers don't have a real power spike, at least now in the utility age. They just do the thing, all right? Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we have the live stream viewer rewards up on MPL Philippines TikTok. Just watch the matches on MPL's TikTok to join and win a goodie bag lottery. And here, Rocker's going to tell you all about it.
Yeah, just go to TikTok and go to MPL Philippines channel at MPL PH_official. Click on the official live stream, and then on the top left, that side, you will see the join the goodie bag lottery. There you go.
If you see it on the wrong side, it's not your left, it's our left.
That one, that side. I don't know.
There you
Somewhere
go.
there.
All right. So hopefully we have a winner, and congratulations on winning the goodie bag lottery. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just but one of the two best of threes we're going to be seeing tonight, because up next, we've got the world champions, the defending MPL Philippines Season 12 champions, AP Bren, going up against ang bagong Barangay, Smart Omega, who is, I gotta say, it's an understatement, struggling to find their new identity.
Yeah. It's going to be so exciting to see what kind of combination they're going to come up with next.
Speaking of, there's a possibility that there might just be, because we're in the third week.
Yeah, so this is the checkpoint, hoping that they give us a good matchup coming up next. Stay with us, because when we come back, that'll be coming at you. That's Brigida, this is Rockhard. My name is Leo. We'll be back on MPL.
Sponsors. Smart, the official telco partner of MPL Philippines Season 13. Infinix GT series outplay the rest. Experience the MPL PH Season 13 action live at Shooting Gallery Studios. Tickets are now available on our official ticketing partner at /event.com. Don't miss any MPL PH action by following our official Facebook page and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL PH on TikTok as well for more content. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the official accounts of MDL Philippines. To ensure the equality and fairness of our games, MPL Philippines is also monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusements Board.
Nakilala niyo na palang transferee natin. Class, meet your new classmate, Felicissimo.
Moy na lang po.
Lisa, guide mo muna si Moy ha as he adjusts to our school. Thank you, Iha. Okay, everyone, bring out your social studies textbook.
Nag-ML ka?
Pero kakastart ko pa lang eh. Noob pa ako, tsaka newbie rin dito.
Sus, school ML. Ako bahala sa'yo. Dali lang to. Road to Mythic agad tayo. Pakinggan mo lang ako. Rule number 1, let your personality show. Pakita mo kung sino ka, be. Perfect na perfect. Rule number 2, find a good school-life balance. Study hard, play hard.
Yes!
Ang galing! Nice one! Rule number 3. Basic lang galawan dito. Basta alam mo, Prayo. Magpataba para lumakas. More kain, more energy. Rule number 4. Pag may humamon, game on! Huwag matakot sa clash. Kita ka namin sa map. Auto rest back. O, diba? Basic. Easy lang mag-rank up. Basta sama-sama.
Thanks, Lodi.
Ano? Laro?
Yeah!
Guys, next week na yung tournament. Game tayo, ah.
Sige, basta ako ang tangka.
Golding MM ako, ah.
Expelin na ako. Kaso,
Nag-last day na nga pala si Kyle.
okay guys, please welcome Mimi, our new teammate.
Hi, Mimi.
Good to have you, Mimi.
Hello.
Please take the empty desk.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome sa department.
Thank you.
Baka gusto mong sumali sa team namin. Meron kaming ML tournament.
Hindi ako nag-games eh, sorry.
Turuan kita. Gusto mo? Madali lang naman. Tsaka parang team bonding na rin tayo.
Pwede naman, pero hindi ako nag-games as in zero knowledge talaga.
G lang. Magko-core ako, bubuhatin kita.
What?
Five seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them!
Oh, Mimi, dito ka lang sa tabi ko, ha?
Oh, buster ka lang. Def lang, def lang.
GG, bawi na lang next
Sayang.
time.
Nice game, guys. Later na ako.
Okay lang yan, Mimi. You're making progress naman eh. Basta, focus ka lang sa atin. See ya.
Sa atin? May kami na ba?
Mimi, sa tournament, dapat masanay tayo gamitin yung in-game chat. Ha?
Okay.
Okay.
Hoy! Mimi, yung turtle!
Sorry. Let's go!
Uy, nice presentation kanina.
Oo nga, nice one.
Siyempre, para tapos
Grabe.
agad.
Uy, Mimi, may new skin yung Esme, oh. Cute ng fit niya. Try mo kaya?
Pwede naman.
Sinong cute? Uy, sinong cute?
Yung skin.
Yung skin.
Puno.
Pero cute nga.
Alright, do you think matidefend ng Team Finance ang title nila this year? Pero grabe rin ang kalaban nila this year. Malupit ang marketing. Ito na ang team nila. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's your fifth member? Kailangan, ayan na siya! Marketing! Very old and very proud!
Now I'm getting serious.
Bro. Uy, ingat. GG kanina. Thanks sa pag-join sa squad namin.
Anytime.
So, saan ka na niyan?
Sa bahay. Magdedelulo 15 Pro Max.
Huh?
Hindi ko pa alam eh.
Gusto mo mag-coffee sa tapat? Saka, game na rin. Looking for kaduwasan.
Santos Galar, can you do it? And Alpartisana, Catarcina!
Avalanche Finest Long gets instantly shot down by the Blazing Duet, as well as the Electo final blow. This is going to be easy cleanup for Todak as most of the...
Apat yun, pero nasipa din siya yung ninakaw na sipa. Buhay pa rin ang 4v1! Backline already, and they're running for the lives, gunning it. David trying to drag the members of RG right underneath the turret. It's not enough though. Gray coming all the way, and he cleats it all the way out. Just no way for him to run. It's just...
Kita kata satu bari walaupun di poin membuat pergerakan dari Liga terlalu benar-benar slow. Rasanya sudah tumpah.
The same as the Onyx colors as well.
Gusto ko to. Alam mo na Onyx fan talaga. It's Onyx time! Ang lambot.
Real.
Alam mo, magugustuhan to ng girlfriend mo pag kayakap ka niya, tapos ito yung suot mo.
Ikaw din.
Ano yan? Yung jersey, yung jersey.
Ito naman po is yung Onyx jacket. Varsity jacket.
Ay, maganda.
Dating 4,000 po siya. Ngayon po is 2,500.
2,500. Okay. I think pwedeng i-model, no? It looks good on you. How can you pull it off? Okay, it's a little unfair, pero...
It's on sale. It's on sale.
Yeah.
Kasha rin to sa'yo.
Oo nga eh.
Ano pa?
Ito lang po ito yung may mga limited edition po tayo.
Oh, this one also.
Wow naman, tinan mo, wait lang ha. Nandito yung mga players natin.
Ay, kukunin ko to
Si
kay Boss A.
Escalera.
Kay Boss A.
Si Boss A.
Kailangan i-represent.
Pogi siya dito. Pogi siya dito.
What do you mean?
Ito, si Escalera nandyan.
Uy,
si
Super
Super Friends.
Friends.
Wow,
Okay.
wow. Nandito si Super Friends.
I'm interested. Are these available online also?
Yes po, available.
Okay. So saan nila makikita yung shop ng Onyx Philippines?
Sa Onyx page lang po mismo, official page po ng Onyx page.
Oh, okay. So, wag nyo na i-mintis yan because you get to wear that jacket like Mara Aquino and you get to avail all of those jerseys as well. So, stick around dahil magsisimula na ang next nating match.
So stay here only on MPL Philippines.
Una na si Nats. Di mo niya makakuha ng unang turn natin. Pero may magsipa din. TikTok play mula kay Light. Pero siguro kayo nandun sa may... Haharap si Nats. Okay! O yun yung sipa. Way of the Dragon. Habang nagamit na rin. Yung ultimate dito ni Gusay. Lost Insanity. Ilalayo na rin. Down to 10% yung kanyang health.
Versus Santos Galas, can you do it? And Albertizan, Garcia.
Avalanche fight as Logan gets instantly shot down by the Blazing Duet, as well as the Electo final blow. This is going to be easy cleanup for Todak as most of the...
Apat yun, pero nasipa din siya. Yung ninakaw na sipa, buhay pa rin. Ang 41!
Backline already, and they're running for the lines, gunning it. David trying to drag the members of RG right underneath the turret. It's not enough though. Gray coming all the way, and he cleans it all the way up. Just nowhere for him to run. Just...
Kita ada satu Warrior Weapon di Malaysia membuat pergerakan dari Bignya terlalu benar-benar slow. Rapanya sudah tumbang.
ribbon for the 3 stars. Look at us to the top, no ifs, no buts. Winning any game para to sa PNNES. Di mo matitin ang aming boses on your level. Nasa kalye man o mobile window, I become a legend. Open fire, we unite, we winners. Built with pressure, like diamonds are made of. Switch in a lane na parang gera. HP Racing may reset up. Built na kitang buhat, we heal that full load SS parang Lyra. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas, kasama patas. Tagumpay natin to dahil tayo'y malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Hold on. Yeah, wala ka sa Pinas. We are laging MVP, no surrender, no retreat. Pag nagsama-sama, just imagine what we can achieve. Laging MVP, no surrender, no retreat. Giving 100 all my all, cause we just cannot be defeated. We are unstoppable, immune and invulnerable. Ready ang equipment, lahat frozen, malang crowd control. Pakita ko na jab like beast of the southeast. Takas sa watawat, proud and loud, cause every enemy we devour. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas, kasama patas. Tagumpay natin to dahil tayo'y malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Kahit anong lane, we become the monsters. Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Face the golden sun and reppin' for the 3 stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
The 13th season of MPL Philippines is brought to you by the following sponsors. Smart, the official telco partner of MPL Philippines Season 13. Infinix GT Series, outplay the rest. Experience the MPL PH Season 13 action live at Shooting Gallery Studios. Tickets are now available on our official ticketing partner at /event.com. Don't miss any MPL PH action by following our official Facebook page and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL PH on TikTok as well for more content. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the official accounts of MDL Philippines. To ensure the equality and fairness of our games, MPL Philippines is also monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusements Board.
Welcome back sa MPL Philippines at kasama natin dito ngayon ang kabuuan ng Barangay, Smart Omega, H2. Matanong lang kita, ano bang mga ginawa mo during the break?
Nung ginawa namin during the break, since puro talo kami nung nakaraang week, ang ginawa namin, parang di kami nag-day off talaga nag-double effort kami sa mga practice and yun, nagano kami, more practice.
Okay, more
And
practice.
yung iba sa amin, nag-alaylakan.
Narinig ko nga si Coach Carter nasa likod eh. Hintayin na, Inihintay natin mamaya. Pero parang may natanggalan ng balahibo sa isa sa mga sisiw nyo. Tutok mo nga dito ng konti. Halika nga dito, pare. Parang natanggalan ng balahibo eh. No! It's gone already. Ano bang meron? Bakit nagtanggal ka na ng hair color at ng konting hair sa iyong head?
Tingin ko, minalas yung kulay ng buko eh. Kaya, nagpaganto akong gupit para reset, kumbaga. Babawi kami, babangon kami.
I think agree naman. Agree ba? Tama. Okay. Bago ang lahat, gusto ko matuto ng handshake eh. Kasi yun yung mga nakikita ko sa kanila kanina. Ryota, halika dito. Binibitan niya to kanina eh. Alright, sige, Ryota, kahit huwag mo na hawakan yung mic, turuan mo na lang ako ng handshake kasi ito yung ginagawa natin kanina eh. Okay. We see it. Yung kay Promdi. Kay Jom, pakita mo yung kay Jom. Okay. Yung kay Mark. Okay. Ano daw, inspired daw yan by LeBron James. Matt, huwag ka magpapatalo. May pre-practice rin kayo kanina eh. Okay. Tapusin na natin tong kalokohan na to. Mara, kamusta ka dyan?
Dito naman tayo sa panig ng AP Bren kasama si Flap and Super Marco. Uy, nakita ko may handshake sila. Kayo, besties, anong handshake nyo?
Beso lang.
Beso, paano? Wow! Okay, ang tanong, ano ang ginawa nyo noong bakasyon?
Nag-outing po kami with family, tapos
Nice.
nagbatak ako ng ibang laro.
Nagbatak ka ng ibang laro? Okay. Ano yung laro yon para hindi mo pwedeng sabihin kung ano siya, huhulaan ng audience natin. Okay, clue number 1. Ano? Oh, wow. Nakakatakot yan ah. Okay, clue number 2.
Ganito yung sound ng mga baril. Brrrt, brrrt, brrrt.
Okay. Clue number 2. Okay, comment down below ano sa tingin niyo to. Okay, last clue.
Ganito ginagawa din nila sa game.
Paano? Okay. Ano ba? Jamorant ba to? Hindi. Okay, yan ang 4 clue. Hindi siya Jamorant. Hulaan kung anong game yung binatak niya. Ikaw naman, anong ginawa mo during the break?
Nag-binge watch lang ng mga movies.
Binge watch? Anong ibig sabihin ng binge watch?
Kumbaga, nanood ako ng mga movies sunod-sunod.
Okay, anong type of movie ba yung gusto mo?
Mga gusto kong movie, mga psychological thriller.
Mga thriller, mga psychological. What does that mean? Ano yun? Ano yung mga suspense? Anong ginagawa?
So, kasi may mga plot twist eh. Yung isip mo, boobs.
Ganon. Yun ang preparation mo for the game. Kailangan, bush, ganon. Okay, magsisimula na ang laban nyo. Ibabato natin sa ating casters. Kayo naman yung magbato. Okay? 3, 2, 1, go! Casters, pasok!
Welcome back to the desk at your service. My name is Leo here with Rockhart and Brigida. I gotta ask you, what do y'all do during the break? Also?
Yeah.
Okay, so like Super Marco. How about you, Brigida? She just defended her thesis, by the way. Let's give a round of applause. Everyone in chat, just say congratulations, Brigida, for defending her thesis. As we ramp up for the final matchup of tonight, it's AP Bren facing off against Smart Omega. I gotta say, watching Hans and Mara's interaction with both teams gave me a little bit of a sigh of relief because this matchup, weird as it is, being part of the opening day of week number 3, is actually pretty high stakes. Smart Omega has yet to find a win all of Season 13, and AP Bren are fighting for their undefeated streak. This last matchup, anything could go.
Yeah, anything can go, definitely. And we were just talking about this in the in the locker room. So like, if there was any match or any team that would maybe put a dent in AP Bren, if Omega did it, everyone's minds would just go crazy.
Could that be
They
their
would go
new
boosh.
identity? Could that be their new identity?
Might? Well, I think our biggest question though before identity or anything is which lineup works best for this team? Which members of the Bagong Barangay could actually lead them to their first victory? Because as we've been seeing in the past weeks, they've been fielding 2 different lineups, but we're yet to see a combination of these two lineups of the old members of the team and the new members who came from MDL.
Yep. And again, it's not like the out-of-game factors are against APBR. Yes, they could lose it tonight, but it's proven that they are immune to the championship curse. They've won MPL Philippines, they've won the World Championship, and yet here, going into week 3, they're still performing like they're here to prove something.
Yeah, their stats look like a menu. That's it was just full of
just clean,
very overpopulated numbers.
Expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah, it's actually, upon looking at the comparison, it's all green on their side.
All
apart
green.
from the unique heroes used, which tells us that, of course, Bren, they tend to stick with the heroes that we typically know them to use. But for Omega, they have this tendency to use more unique heroes. So that might be one thing we can look forward to in this match, especially as I think there are some heroes, or there's a hero that's already open or available for us. Could they be the first to field it out?
That's right. Chip, we didn't see any Chip in our opening bout tonight. We saw Minana, Evos, and RSG go head-to-head, ended it with a sweep, with RSG winning, just in case you guys are catching up. But no single Chip, not a ban, not a pick.
That's true. It's uncanny, and you know what? I'm getting Loyi vibes, because Loyi's been... Anyway.
Could be, but first let's welcome our marshals who will officiate the match. They ensure the fairness and integrity of our games. The men in white coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Wilbert, Patrick, Jeff, and Chico.
You know what, Chico? He loves Chico.
That's a fruit.
The fruit. Yes.
Let's welcome our teams making their way on stage. They have conquered all around the world and back. They are the reigning and defending champions of the world and MPL Philippines. It's APBR! And their coaches, Coach Ducky and Coach Lembot. MPL Arena, make some noise for the Hive going up against the Barangay in tonight's closer. Let's talk about our defending champions, AP Bren.
Yeah, AP Bren. It's really hard. I'm pretty sure it was very hard for whoever was writing those can-win conditions to write one for AP Bren right now, who can do no wrong. They have not dropped a game yet. No match, no game dropped, just coasting through it, and we're already halfway through the season.
And it's not like they're in any shape to experiment. They're keeping it close to the chest, keeping it clean, keeping it efficient, And here tonight, they're facing off against ang bagong Barangay.
And speaking of the word bagong barangay, which means new, it seems like there is going to be a new lineup fielded for tonight because instead of the Smart Omega Neos lineup, they're changing things up a bit. It's Jom who's going to play for the gold this time, together with the other members of the Smart Omega Neos or the former MDL team of Omega. So this is the change that they actually decided to use for, or as they come back to this week of the season.
Okay, just to set expectations, very similar to how last week, 2 weeks ago, Minana Evos had a true test of the dark horse. They went up against AP Bren, right? We marked them as a pass because they gave hell to AP Bren. For Smart Omega, I'm going to give the same kind of treatment. I just want to see them do something with this lineup and make AP Bren work for the win.
Just do something. Make it hard. Make it look hard for the reigning and defending world champions who seem to be having a hard time finding people to face off against their, their streak right now.
It just really has to be at least something because I think to actually aim for a complete wipeout or a sweep again or ahead of or immediately is quite of a difficult metric to do if you're up against the AP Bren, especially as you start or you try out this new or relatively new lineup, but they could at least try. And right now, even in this player head-to-head, we're seeing the difference between these two XP laners, all once again leaning towards the side of AP Bren. Flapteezy, he's been performing very well, even or regardless of what hero he actually picks up. Whereas for Luis, we know him to be leaning more on the Arlot, let's say, or the X4.
It's time for us to kickstart the discussion on our keys to victory brought to us by Infinix. Tell us exactly what AP Bren needs to do here.
Well, I think Rockhart earlier mentioned he feels like the writers had a difficult time thinking for AP Bren. It seems like this is the answer. It's really just to do what they do. No further explanation needed because they've been having a perfect run so far. There were times they find it quite difficult. They reached the late game, but in the end, they were able to get the win.
Rockhart, who do you think from OMG will be doing the shot callings? Because for now, I think they have the problem.
I think everyone has been very vocal about finding Sir Matt, the Mattzilla himself. I mean, I think he's the one that a lot of them really look towards here. And I wonder if Jom has that, that chemistry with this guy already built in. These are things that we don't see. These are things that happen inside the boot camp.
Of course,
so who knows, right?
Both of them need to polish their early to mid game because that's what allows for you to snowball. Real quick, reminding everyone that the MPL Philippines live stream viewer awards are now available. Come on in and watch the MPL matches on TikTok to join the goodie bag lottery and get a chance to be one of the lucky winners.
Yeah, just go to TikTok, open your TikTok app right now, go to MPL Philippines at MPL PH _official and click on the official live stream. And you should find the goodie bag lottery on the top left.
This is your left.
Your left.
My right.
Our left. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Simple.
You got it.
If it's on the other side, then it's your left.
Somewhere up there.
All right. Now, talking about what's going to go down, I'm relatively blind. We're all relatively blind because as a 5-man squad, this OMG has never been deployed in Season 13. Nay, has never been deployed in all of the league.
Exactly.
And the last time or the past few games that they really decided to use either the Smart Omega News lineup or their other lineup, which consisted of players who were already established or who were really very well known in the Philippines, they've only managed to get one game win. A match win has not yet happened for this team. So we really feel, especially as we reach the mid or the middle portions of this regular season, how badly they really need these points. Because if we were to go back or look back at our point system, it's very difficult to actually catch up if you're left that behind.
It's huge. The 3 points for the win and then the 1 point for the game win, it adds up to an equation that does not favor Smart Omega right now, which all the more leads me to ask the question, what happens if this lineup of Omega still doesn't work? Where do you find the next step to adjust? Because I'm going to be realistic right now. And Chad, you can do the same. Try to drop down exactly what Smart Omega might try to do here.
What's a combo, man?
Type it out. Which lineup would you go for if not this Neos plus Jom? Because it's possible. They've done it already in the weeks past. Mid-series. Let's switch it up.
Some people would say H2 plus Neos. Some, they say that.
Ryota plus Neos.
Ryota plus Neos. Yeah.
or maybe a more balanced, like two members,
2 and 3,
or 2 and 3.
3 and 2.
We'll never know. I mean, they had some time though. We've been through, or we've had a break, and I think a lot of our players, whenever you ask them in the interviews, they also mentioned that they did not really just rest throughout that break. And I think we've seen the products of some of the experiments also which happened. I mean, earlier in Evos, there was some growth, quote-unquote growth that happened.
Arlott growth.
Those were some of the quote-unquote growth that we see. But for this team, who knows? I mean, I'm sure they prepared something for them to decide to change things up a bit in their lineup.
All right, here we go. Let's get into the draft. This is where it begins. More than just the players, more than just the lineup. What heroes do they take into the Land of Dawn? AP Bren on the play, as they do, going up against Smart Omega on the red. 2-pick swing, last pick, repair pick for Omega. That's what they're going for. The Angela and the Ruby, out of the question, as per Coach Ducky. Coach Lembot, though, taking out big roamers in Matilda and Minotaur.
Okay, not really as targeted as it may seem, though we know Smart Omega to be a kind of team who occasionally uses the Angela mid, for instance, and Ryle is known to perform really well once he gets his hands on the Faramis. So these are bans which we know are somehow informed of Omega's playstyle, whereas these Ogwen heroes as well are being taken out right now by Smart Omega. So the Vexana for few, which is very often prioritized, is open, but so is the Novaria actually, if they want to go down that path.
Even Valentina's open.
Overall,
how about none of the above?
None of the above. Let's go.
How about none of the above?
Boy.
Masha makes your debut pick in MPL Philippines.
There's something you actually kind of went in length in the previous game, right? I feel like Masha has received I don't know, a dozen rework or something at this point.
And a dozen buffs in the past year.
Exactly. So maybe it's about time that Masha can finally go toe-to-toe, or some people in the ranked games would actually say she exceeds a lot of the XP lanes right now.
Oh, and to think that they immediately pick up the Claude right after the Masha gets picked up, they need to be extra careful in how they're going to play this out, because even the Fredrin might see this as a huge threat. And we're yet to actually confirm if the Masha will be going in the XP. I mean, the patch recommends it to be put in the jungle, but I don't think anyone is using it in the jungle.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that it will be placed in the roam, as
That's
we've
right.
seen in international tournaments as well.
That's right. Good friend of ours, Enrique from MPL Latam, gave me the lowdown, and it's not impossible that across the sea, like literally in MPL MY, MPL ID, we see this hero more often. And again, we do not know. Phase 1, pick 1, exactly where she's going to go. Is this where we see the mid-trade? Do we pick up the Novardi here, the Vexana here, and then Omega answers back?
Actually possible. It's few we're talking about, then he can immediately prioritize those heroes, but they're literally changing the draft patterns we've been so used to seeing in the first few weeks. They prioritized immediately the two heroes that were making a lot of noise during the break, the Masha and the Roger, immediately going into the hands of AP Bren.
And there's also a very some chance. Obviously, there's a small chance that following trends, normally this Roger, you expect it to go gold lane.
Yep.
But Kyle TZ is very well versed in this hero as well.
Yeah, but
so
they have a Baksha!
They do have a Baksha. So we're having a hard time actually just throwing it out there.
There's so much flex heroes.
There's so much flex right now that can happen with AP Bren's free that might be throwing a wrench into the the gears of Omega right now.
What to think about?
So much to think
I
about.
think Omega, we kind of have an idea like where these first 3 picks are already gonna go. But for AP Bren, we can still
Toss a
expect
coin.
kind of like a different role for these heroes. But right now, if earlier in the previous series we've seen the marksmen not being as prioritized, this time it's surprisingly the mid laners. And look at the support system of Bren, also always present. But oh, wow, Louis.
Ban.
What is Coach Lembot reading into? What is Snap whispering to him?
Here's the thing. There might be like a scenario where AP Bren basically practiced the chip. And if they don't get that chip kind of playstyle, maybe they'll try to revert back to Aloyi.
I mean, you combine the already present heroes, right? The Roger with the flanking, the Baksha with the Baksha Unite, the Masha just running at you from an odd angle.
Yeah.
These are all things that you're afraid of. all the more with a chip, with a Lu Yi.
That's right. They're also great for tower dives. Like if you go at the back behind the tower, those bushes behind the tower, very difficult for these heroes to instantly die there with invulnerability for the Roger. And then, of course, Masha always, gets away.
Yep. These 3 picks from AP Bren feel bad when you're playing a Novaria. So, yeah, I understand why Nova's not on the board right now.
Yeah, and I think they really might want to try to answer right now just how much aggressive these picks coming in from AP Bren are right now. They literally would want to go in and just bump into everyone. I think 2 heroes here literally bump into the opponents. It's the Baksha and the ultimate coming in here from the Masha.
Thunderclap.
The Thunderclap. That can right now be at least used 3 times, or at most be used 3 times if you give him the opportunity. So that's another scary thing to think about. Even if we don't see the mage for AP Bren yet, I think even just the Thunderclap can deal a huge amount of damage to the Firaga armor that Smart Omega can actually rely on eventually in the game. But speaking of taking out the Firaga armor, there's so much damage right now from AP Bren.
Explosiveness all around for the bees.
I hate to be Lewis right now. Lewis has a lot to think about. And I think this does confirm the role Masha.
It does.
Oh, that's so... Okay, if we were the damage dealers here for Smart Omega, I just can't imagine how terrifying it would be to watch out for Ogwen. Not sure if he'll be picking up the dire hit as well, but the moment he gets his hands on the Blade of the Heptaseas, that's a lot of damage you're supposed to expect from him.
Yeah, and if you get
that's a roamer.
That's a roamer.
That's a roamer.
Exactly. He has so much freedom right now, right? With his lineup to go anywhere he wants, and he is not in danger of actually just disappearing, getting bursted down. That's risky for Omega.
And again, the best kind of peel you have, it's a stop click. You're immune from damage every time you lose an HP bar. The answer from Smart Omega. They close their draft up with a Grok. Again, with the threats from AP Bren coming from all directions, you need a stopgap. You need that wall. You need that wild charge. We've seen RSG in the game number 2 of the first series of tonight do magic with it.
Insane.
Look at this audience prediction, man. 14%. Stalwart believers in the Bagong Barangay. The rest of them, fans of AP Bren, or just realistic fans. They know that AP Bren, they're not going to pull any punches.
I mean, if we all look at the stats and the previous or the history of these teams, it's almost written like this is what the audience would most likely expect. But again, this is a chance for the Bagong Barangay to prove themselves, and they're starting to show us some new combinations in their lineup. So we'll see where this is going to take the Bagong Barangay. But up to where can this bring them up against the world champions?
Up to where? Folks, this is where you sound off. Let us know. Do you think AP Bren gonna take this or Smart Omega? Because I'm thinking if there's any time that Omega can win, it's this time. It's because AP Bren introduced so many new aspects into the metagame in a single draft alone.
Yeah, maybe this is something they can take advantage of, right? So, big question marks here being thrown all over.
That's so annoying. You see that? Ogwen just stood there.
No one can deal with him, man.
Oh yeah, and it's good to see how Mark is trying to apply the same amount of pressure. He actually denied Kaltizi from immediately securing that purple buff. But again, I think now we have to pay attention to what Ogwen might just be doing all around the map. If we were to see a heat map of Ogwen later on, I couldn't say just where would he be in the first 5 minutes of the game, because we're starting to see how much he really wants to distract the jungler. And to think that he picked up the assassin emblem,
that's right,
the fatal, you could already imagine he's definitely going for the damage.
Alongside Swift.
Yeah, whoever is isolated here by this Masha, I don't envy that guy. He's gonna have trouble.
Or girl in the case of Ryle. That's a Valentina there.
That's right.
Or whatever Grok identifies as. But here we go. Talking about just how strong AP Bren's lineup is at splitting up Omega. I'm surprised Ogwen didn't even go for Jome yet. Big J, that's the worst target.
Yeah, well, he actually did try to start out and show himself, but then we all know how kind of tanky the Fredrin also is in the first few or in the early minutes of the game. And they are both junglers, at least. They just got their level 4 at the same time. So right now we just might be seeing some action here in the XP lane. But both teams are very and extra careful because this is the possible fight prior to the first turtle.
Yeah, the big advantage, obviously, of Omega is they're also very tanky early
no.
game here. But everyone left Ryle out.
Oh,
I
no.
was so surprising how far behind he was left. Lewis and Matt couldn't do anything.
I think Ryle understood the assignment as well. Didn't even have any time to press flicker right there.
He knew.
It was impossible to get out, but right now the pressure coming in from AP Bren, taking control of this turtle pit. They really want to get this for themselves.
Turtle at half health. Flapteasy
Alright.
holding the flank. Kyle jumping in.
He's floating. He's floating. He's waiting for the retribution. Matt gets it though. That's going to go over to Omega. And it looks like because of Flapteasy's presence, they won't force the fight, but they will find Marked. Nowhere to go.
All right. If there's any jungler out there that knows the breadth and the depth of a Baksha in a turtle dance, in a lord dance, it's Sir Matt. It's
Sir
Matt
Matt.
Zilla. Won Season 12 Rookie of the Season by playing in barely 3 weeks of competition. He did it with this hero. He did it with Baksha, so he understands what Kyle Teasy was doing.
Yeah, and it was commendable for Omega as well to actually pursue that turtle, knowing that they lost one member, knowing that Ryle eventually or actually fell right before that turtle. But right now, that first objective taken here by Smart Omega definitely will be or will give them a lot of advantages, as well as somehow quite the confidence.
Uh-oh.
But it seems like Bren, they're also confident as well.
Yeah, and again, that's basically Bren Esports. AP Bren just maximizing their early game advantage of the Masha.
Big
with
J!
Kyle Teasy looking for Jome here. Obviously not going to find him. Big J being a very careful player here.
Actually, and this is what I think we could be comparing Jome and West in terms of the laning. I think this is where we can compare them best, because it's Jome who's been showing us the very aggressive manner of controlling the lane. And to imagine, this is the kind of situation we're seeing, even though he's a Claude and he's up against the Roger, which is typically the lane bully in this kind of situation, but he's managing it pretty well.
I mean, not just in the laning phase, even in big team fights, Jome is likely to pick fights. And he's not afraid to trade blows with not just Super Marco, but even Ogwin.
That's right. Even that Thunderclap right now, obviously not doing as much damage as it should yet.
He's not. You're not sending me home, man.
Yeah.
I'm on a mission. I want to farm.
Still got the ability to basically hold out on the goal.
I want to close this gap. This is a manageable gap between them at the 4-minute mark. About 600, 700.
Pretty close.
Ballooning up to 900.
Wow.
Oh no.
That was a beautiful engage. Or it seems like Flapteasy really waited for that opportunity. It was right before the turtle, and he nearly took out the Firaga armor. But right now, Kyle Teasy this time, will he be able to secure it against Smart Omega?
That's a big question now. Kyle Teasy could play it a bit more aggressively, but Matt basically sidesteps here. Gonna be fighting off against free members of AP Bren. Not gonna be able to survive long with Ogwin very, very deep here. No retribution means that's gonna be an AP Bren turtle.
Oh, wow. Mark using the Cyclone Eye to its maximum range. Just dashing right through that wall. And now Kyle Teasy. Wow, he understands the situation. He knows 2K ahead AP Bren is.
Yeah. I actually remember Reptar Ramble's recent episode where he kind of like considered the Masha somewhat of a glass cannon type of hero as well. If you actually get to take out at least your target, then that's all that matters. But in this situation where Omega still lacks the damage to actually take him out immediately, that might just be a problem. And Jome as well will fall.
Ogwin looks like he was flying with the Thunderclap right now. Although Kyle Teasy knock up, he's in danger, and down goes the Appraiser's Wrath, taking out the jungler of AP Bren. Now it's going to be Omega getting 2 kills here for Sir Matt.
That's a decent trade. I'd say Smart Omega made the most of a losing situation. And yes, Big J dying here this early on, not a good look, but hey, Smart Omega are managing this gold lead, and they're managing their waves, but just as I say, man, Flapteasy making it work. Making it happen down bot.
Well, I mean, I think that Omega would want to capitalize on their capabilities to actually be just as confident whenever AP Bren tends to overextend. I mean, they're all in terms of their lineup whenever Super Marco engages, as well as Ogwen. And if they find no way out and you already have the necessary damage, you can actually turn things around. But this might just be another target for Omega, and that's Molina's passive, or the Molina's passive out for Pew.
Ogwen spotted.
Oh, they know that all these ultimates are already used up here, and Ogwin just doing so much work here, making sure that he can absorb so much damage here from Omega and still be able to go back into the fight. Gets a double for that Masha.
as messy as it is, these are the kind of situations that AP Brent's lineup flourish in. This is where they call it home. And just as the turtle spawns, they walk away from that 2-for-none with a massive lead.
Almost perfectly timed.
5K now at almost 7 minutes.
If you're the frontliners here for Smart Omega, it's a very difficult situation for you. You either receive the jabs from FlapTZ or you receive the damage here from Ogwen, or even just the bullets when Super Marco decides not to transform yet. That deals a lot of damage on you when you still have a lot of HP left. So you're starting to feel just how beautiful this lineup is from AP Bren in terms of shredding the tanky heroes of Smart Omega and eventually reaching the backlines, the damage dealers, and they're starting to feel that pressure right now.
At this rate, no one from Omega counts as a frontliner.
No,
the way
really.
AP Bren just leans hard on their early game aggression. Look at this. The items picked up. There's a Hunter Strike. Hunter Strike and Malefic Roar. Dear Lord. All the penetration on Flap right now. Genius Wand and Lightning Tranche on few. Again, maybe you could argue Kyle TZ is the only one who isn't really the one who shreds, but his ult denies all healing.
And even Ogwen, he did pick up immediately the Blade of the Heptasy, so you could imagine the damage that they can actually surprise Omega with. So they're kind of locked down right now, or it's kind of difficult to find or to spot a single player in the lineup of Smart Omega. It's best if they actually try to group up together at this point, but in the same way that they'd want that, I feel like AP Bren isn't afraid with this much of a gold lead to engage them even when they're all together as well.
No way, this can't be true. Not a single time between season 10, 11, and 12 did we see Masha. Because the last time she saw play was when Smart Omega went in for their grand finals run in SMX in season 9, the playoffs, where Renzio, previously of Smart Omega, scored a Savage. That far back?
Pretty iconic that it makes a comeback here in this game against them.
That was prior the dozen of buffs
Exactly.
The showstopper, it's been that long.
Been that long, bro.
Oh, wow.
All right, 9 minutes in, AP Bren working with a 7K gold lead here. Not much on the board yet for Smart Omega. They're making the most of the open map because AP Bren have, again, with the due decision making, right, with the right processing, allows for them to just slowly work out parts of the map now. Top lane, Jom hasn't left. Jom's never left top lane.
Right now, Omega, definitely, they're just trying to at least take some trades. So they went for the cross map, or at least wanted to get that turret away from AP Bren, but even that was denied by the Hive. So with this Lord, or at least this level 1 Lord that they have, it wouldn't be a surprise if they actually decide to take out all the outer turrets. But to think of the wave clear that Smart Omega has, they might actually be able to manage because they have the X-Borg as well as the Claw of the Blazing Duet. So it just really it will just really matter on how they, even without the Lord, they were able to take out the outer turrets already.
Yeah, they don't seem to be lacking any damage whatsoever. Every single member here of AP Bren ready to roll as long as Omega lets them. And now, that's a big question. Will Omega let them with the Lord up on top? The bottom and the mid will be very difficult to defend.
I mean, yes, Omega can clear wave well, but AP Bren has so much damage. Look at this!
Yeah, they're exploding right now with damage.
Oh, they were able to take down the Lord though, but they might just be trying to hold on really well on this inhibitor turret. They don't want to let it go.
That is a gigantic siege minion.
Man, oh man.
All right, so here's the thing, right? Yeah, can agree. There's a Valentina, there's an X-Borg. You got the basics on a relatively well-suited up Claude. But think about this. They're all either close range to mid-range attack spells. They all have to be in some way, shape, or form close to AP Bren to even think of defending. And now look at this. They're in trouble. They might lose his inhibitor.
Yeah, and with the pokes here coming in from Super Marco whenever he's on long range, it makes it so easy for AP Bren to just chip away at these turrets.
Yeah, literally chip away at these turrets and these members of Omega as well. To think that AP Bren, they don't have that one big explosive setup potential in any of their heroes right now. They're literally just gradually approaching whoever they can see or spot from the members of Smart Omega, but they're still able to do all this pressure.
Here we go!
Activated here is going to be Last Insanity by Louise. Barely makes anything.
Oh, wow.
Kyle TZ, and all that results is the turret going down, and Flap TZ working on bottom as well.
All right, it went from worst to bad. All right, like they could have lost so much more, but Smart Omega kept their discipline. They kept their decision making on point and said, you know what, we just clear the wave, we back off, and then we get the farm that's coming in. That's key here. They get the farm that's coming in. So far, Smart Omega, for the first time in a while, they've actually left their base.
Yes, but that was actually also Smart Omega being very careful. We saw Ryle immediately pressing the flicker or as he just saw Ogwen approaching, even if he was far away. So the threat of the distance of the thunderclap is that much, forcing Ryle to immediately use that flicker. So that's a major resource as well that AP Bren knows is currently down for Omega, and this might just be another free Lord that will go into their hands.
Here we go. Omega on the tail. AP Bren going for the Lord Blitz, down to less than half health.
Yeah, that's a big area that Omega cannot enter right now. And AP Bren, they're making sure that the wall or the way is shut. Flap TZ on the side, making sure he can maybe assassinate Jome or Louise. And there's just no answer for Omega. Mark, he went a little too far there. And now it's Super Marco who is blitzing in the front lines.
Super Marco?
And the shutdown forced the flicker from Marked. They do take a Flap TZ, 1-for-1. AP Bren gets the Lord.
Yeah, that was a well-timed wild charge coming in here from Marked, but will they be able to find another answer? They might just not be able to. Right now, AP Bren, they're being extra careful, and all the while everything was happening, they were still able to secure the Lord either way. So even with that loss, it was still a win for them, because right now, they have a Lord that's approaching the top lane for Smart Omega.
Here we go. Mid lane inhibitor still standing. Ogwen welcoming the Lord into Omega's base. Last Insanity popped early, clearing the wave.
Yep, no splits available yet for AP Bren as the minions have not arrived yet. So that gives Omega some leeway to maybe just get back on the field. They can still walk out of their base at this point.
All right, good news, bad news. AP Bren are still in the lead. They have good control of the map. Bad news is, hold up.
Yeah, that's going to be Kyle TZ up on front. Of course, Few and Flap TZ, Super Marco very close by, so Omega knows they can't fight this. But look at where Ogwen is. He has been non-stop pushing that lane.
He's just holding it hostage.
Yeah. Right now, it's going to be a dive-in by the roamer of AP Bren. No one can really stop this guy unless maybe Jome with a... Oh my god, I think he has some damage, but it's just being juggled around by the AP Bren members.
All right, there's 4 members of AP Bren, 3 from Omega. They're just clearing the waves. Jome just pushing them out. BMI just missing. Fuse ult, they're still alive.
And there's some damage from the Blazing Duet, right? So Jome probably can do something.
It's some damage, yes.
And he was lucky to not be the recipient of 1 out of 2 consecutive thunderclaps that Ogwen was able to do right before he went down. And to think that he was able to take down 2 members from Omega, not just 1, that was already huge for AP Bren. That was the moment they were able to finally take that inhibitor turret.
Okay, I'd hate to count the eggs before they hatch, but Brigida, Rockhart, could this lineup from Smart Omega, ang bagong barangay, the Neos plus Big J lineup, be the lineup that ushers in a new Omega timer? Could this be it? We were just waiting, right? And Jome didn't die, and Jome was putting on some damage. Maybe they can turn this around.
Yeah, they're also doing better than some other teams right now who have basically succumbed to a 12-minute AP Bren game.
True.
So,
and a 11K gold lead.
That's right. They're lasting.
They're holding on.
Holding.
Somehow. And they have the setup potential that can actually capture a lot of members from AP Bren, unlike their lineup right now, which again, we've seen they mostly really go for the sandwich plays, or they really just want to surround the members here of Smart Omega and limit the places where they can go. But for this upcoming Lord, rather, that AP Bren is currently eyeing, I feel like Omega might just want to gradually attempt to actually take or get some information. They used the Magic Sentry already, but it might just not be as easy for them to approach or get near, but they will.
Brigida, this might be a little too dangerous. I would have said, I disagree. Omega should just let the Lord come in. They can't fight this. Not right now, but wait, AP Bren looks like they want to dance.
Yeah, they're going to be definitely trying. What Omega doesn't know is where Flap TZ is right now. They can only guess. And right now, it is going to be Ryle on the side. Jome very far behind here. Omega, Matt, and Mark very deep in the enemy territory. He's under the Lord. They're making this a 50-50 right now. And, of course, that's going to be the kill going over to the goal laners. That's 2 down for Omega.
Oh no, Jom! Almost gets caught. I told you it was too dangerous to dance with AP Bren at this point.
Well, I did say get some information at least, but that situation was very difficult and dangerous for them as well. It seems like when they actually got the information, Jom and the rest of the members or the damage dealers did not decide to pursue it any longer. They also went away the moment they saw Ogwen. So they left 3 members of Smart Omega in that Lord pit alone, and eventually that led into 2 members down for them. Fortunately, they will be able to spawn right before the Lord approaches their base, but that is considered to be quite a loss for them this time.
Luis!
Oh, Luis can't even last with that Faraga armor now. And that's going to be turret falling for Omega.
Oh, look at AP Bren. They're perfectly sinking the waves. Big wave up top from Ogwen, and that Lord in mid. This could be the last defense. The Guardian's Barrier by Marked, delaying possibly the inevitable as Kyle TZ rolling around.
Yep, all eyes on the Ogwen right now, who seemed to be the target of few. He got demolished. He disappeared from the map, and now it's going to be Luis with the last insanity here for this game, as Ogwen is on the back foot, can barely do no wrong.
AP Bren take game number 1, just shy of an 18-minute victory, and the Barangay still struggle to find their identity.
Well, that was longer than how teams would have typically faced against AP Bren, but
That's true.
still, it was a huge struggle. The lead, it never really went down. It was always at that double-digit mark, at 10K
It was
above.
slowly escalating up until it hit a fever pitch of 10K and then never went under that, despite again, Jom doing some amount of damage. I think the turning point, honestly, was that Lord take, that last Lord take. I agree, maybe getting some information, getting some vision, and then pivoting from there would have been beneficial for Smart Omega. But Matt and Marked and Matt, they were just in too deep. Especially Matt, especially Sir Matt.
Yeah, I mean, earlier they were able to secure the steal with the Retribution, but I don't think that would have been the same scenario if they had decided to fully commit. I feel like even Jom was kind of aware of how dangerous it would have been.
It was so far away.
Yeah, it was so far away.
Our Game 1 MVP is none other than Ogwen on that Masha, debuting in MPL Philippines Season 13. I'm excited to see the evolution of this hero, the evolution of Ogwen.
The claws. He literally showed us just how terrifying a Masha could be after the dozen of buffs we've been talking about applied onto this hero. And he did not disappoint. I guess aside from the Master Assassin, he just decided to go for the additional movement speed, which made him all the more threatening for the heroes of Smart Omega, which were more low in terms of mobility, since he was able to chase after them faster. But the damage output, it was definitely there. He did not lack when it came to the damage. I mean, look at this. It's a Blade of Despair. It's the Malefic Roar. And he was also able to deny to some extent, the sustain that some of the heroes from Smart Omega could have actually done using the Sea Halberd pickup he also had here. And we are actually able to see, as we look back on the highlights, just how impactful this Masha was able, or this Masha has been, either providing or actually engaging for the team. So again, we've mentioned how there is not necessarily a huge or a major setup skill coming in here from AP Bren, but the impact that the Thunderclap brings to each and every target they find is just enough for them to continuously commit onto the engages that are started by Ogwen. So if not for the engages though, those moments where Ogwen also comes from behind, such as this, to actually give AP Bren the information that those from behind, they already are very, very low, or if not very, very low, I've successfully taken them out using my consecutive Thunderclaps, and also the damage I am able to put out by shredding, or not just shredding, literally feeling like he somehow bursted down the heroes in the backline here for AP Bren. And he is able to bring so much pressure, as we can see even here in the last few moments. He was also the one who decided to start everything and eventually just deal the damage that's necessary. And that follow-up coming in from Few to take down Jom, who was one of the major factors as to why Smart Omega was able to defend the first Lord, was also one of the biggest things as to why AP Bren was able to eventually secure that 18-minute game. So again, looking back at the emblems, not much that has been different from what we typically expect them to use as they pick up these particular heroes. More on the additional mobility as well, I suppose, for the several quantum charges here picked up by Smart Omega. But again, the threat of Ogwen and the chase here, not just by Ogwen, but even by the back shield unity here of Kaltizi and the Lycan Pounce, or the added movement speed of Roger once he actually sees the very low HP members. Well, all in all, we're more efficient in trying to chase down Smart Omega. And right now, the game ended with such a significant gold lead, and none of the, even Luis here, as we can see, not even Luis or the frontliners, which we don't know if we can consider them to be completely frontliners in this case, were able to actually handle all the damage that came in from the members of APBR. It was literally too much to handle, and we can see here in our overall statistics how APBR was also able to take all of these titles. The rich guy, the carry, sandbag, they were all on the side of APBR, even Kaltizi. So this just shows that even upside, or even amidst the immense amount of pressure that APBR was able to put into Smart Omega, it was still Kaltizi who was able to take the damage, or take most of the damage for his team. So he was literally, as the supposed main or only front of APBR, really able to do his job well, eventually giving the space and the freedom for the rest of the members to do their job as well.
Currently, I'm of two hearts right now. I'm happy that Masha makes a successful debut. And I'm also sad that Smart Omega has yet to find an identity. We're waiting on the decision whether or not there will be a substitution. But real quick, we'd like to remind everyone that Phase Chip, Phase Technician Chip, there you go. The time travel was messing with my brain with teleportation at your fingertips and portals offering endless possibilities now available. Come join the game and develop your own unique strategy.
And you can get that hero for only like 469 diamonds in a bundle during the launch week. So get it now. It's the best time to get it.
Smart Omega seems to have been on it, and they banned it in game number 1. I wonder now that I would assume they're going in the blue side, they're going on first pick, if that's something that we'll be fighting for.
That's
time
so
to get
interesting. I mean, I was sad to see it banned. Not that I was hoping to see it immediately, but I am actually hoping to see it. I feel like since Smart Omega is known for the number of unique heroes picked, it's not impossible to see them actually field it out.
I'm hoping. Real quick reminder, feel the power with every tap on the Smart app. Effortlessly manage your prepaid and postpaid accounts, buy promos, pay bills, and redeem rewards all in one app.
All you gotta do is download the Smart app now, the only app for Smart. Signature, Infinity Pro, TNT, and PLDT prepaid home Wi-Fi. All of that just in one app.
Get it now. That's the Smart app. Scan the QR code. Get on it. Take care of all of your accounts. And you're welcome. Came from us. Okay, 4 minutes into the next game's draft. I'm feeling that maybe there might be a shakeup from Omega. Just guessing. If not, then maybe a shakeup in the draft.
Yeah.
But for now, we're going to go ahead and look for our Smart game face of the day. You know the rules. MPL Arena, get a chance to be the next Smart game face of the day winner.
Yeah, all you gotta do is flash hashtag the power of Smart on your devices in a green background. Put your game face on to win a redeemable in-game code.
Okay, where they at?
This guy wants some, but it's yellow.
It's pretty intense.
It might,
or it might be just adjusting. I don't know.
Maybe lime green.
No,
lime green.
Everyone else is pretty green.
Yeah. It's not the camera. It's not the camera. There you go.
So that's Ogwen inspired game face of the day.
That's true.
Homies on the APBR side.
Okay.
There you go. Congratulations.
Congrats.
You get yourself a redeemable in-game code, and I hope you enjoy the rest of tonight's matchup. And for those of you all watching at home, what should have Smart Omega done? Are there any adjustments that you think they could have done, or maybe in their lineup, as previously mentioned prior to the game? And now that you've seen what this 5-man lineup can do, Omega Neos plus Big J.
The Big J.
Because Big J did okay.
Yeah, he did. I mean, even in the laning, he wasn't really as bothered. We didn't feel the need that Omega had to actually provide some support to him.
Yeah, actually, he was surviving 2v1s against Ogwen with Super Marco.
Very independent.
Right. So it was actually maybe I was counting down my brain. When is Big J gonna go take the fight?
We're really calling him Big J.
Yeah, that's our thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's our thing. But look at this. Quick recap of the draft, folks. Again, as previously mentioned, the Chip and the Louis were banned. in game number 1 by Smart Omega. And AP Bren here drafted a ridiculous lineup, to be honest. They picked up the Masha, they went in, picked up the new hotness in the Roger Gold, and threw on a Baksha, a Paquito, just to wrap it up, and then the Nana, which again is also a very, very acquired taste. Nana has a less than stellar record in MPL Philippines. In most situations, you would have first picked up the Vexana, picked up the
Varia,
the Gourd. Nana's rarely your first go-to, but here, it's what AP Bren did.
I think AP Bren, in the way that they drafted, it was a little overwhelmingly unpredictable as well if you were a Smart Omega. Like, I did not expect the immediate pickup on the Masha, but all the more did I not expect the immediate pickup on the Roger. So those were like 2 consecutive heroes who weren't or could supposedly immediately be bursted down as well, but it feels like they also lacked the necessary resources or necessary damage to do just that in the early game against these heroes. So I feel like they also just wanted to play it safe because again, AP Bren, you'd want to just like hold on because they've mastered the early game, so like you just want to manage. What was that?
You just did that.
I think you put it very well. Basically, you have to hold on because AP Bren was in the driver's seat. Basically, you're just holding on and hoping, and you survive at the very end. That's basically a very good way to put it.
I have confirmation, folks. I'm looking over at the player desks, just straight out of the players' waiting rooms, and Smart Omega is indeed not subbing anyone out. It's the same lineup from game number 1, meaning Smart Omega, Neos plus Big J are fielded for game number 2.
You're gonna finish this.
I took my time because I just noticed, or again, Matt changed his hair color, so I was trying to look for him.
You're looking for a red hair.
Looking for just burning red hair.
Yeah.
He's back to just the old salt and pepper. As for AP Bren, no, it's the same 5-man squad as well. The same one that won at Kazan, the same one that won at Rizal Memorial, the same one that won at
everywhere.
I'm struggling to remember. EVM, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same 5-man squad. So with that said, are we expecting another spicy draft from AP Bren? We've talked about Smart Omega almost to no end here. How about our defending champions? Because they showed us something new. Again, we would have thought that they would have stuck to the formula that works, but here, they showed us something new.
What really struck me here is how quickly, not the picks, right?
Yeah.
How quickly they locked it in.
That's the Trevor Blitz draft.
Trev, right?
That's
So
the Trevor Blitz draft.
you know that they pre-planned this very easily. So I wonder what else they got out from the break. It's a long break, and they came up with something very interesting in game 1. What's up for game 2?
Yeah, I mean, in the interview, they shared how, what did they do during the break? It was mostly to play other games, but it seems like they were able to allot enough time as well to prepare for this particular game they're having up against Smart Omega. So the respect is definitely going to be there. They do not want a round 2 of that Ogwen disaster that was given to them in game number 1. So Masha is no longer possible here. Could I be hoping for the chip? I'm hoping for the chip, but maybe not, or maybe yes.
Oh, Brigida, don't be afraid to hope for the chip. Everyone hopes for the chip.
Trying to get away.
Mr. Nice hopes for the gourd every time. He just doesn't say it. We all do that sometimes, especially when you see a very interesting mechanic with that chip. I would love to see it.
I want to feel like how Naisu always feels when he sees the gourd being picked up. So I wonder what...
Naisu waited years to get gourd in the meta, right?
So many years.
Chip just came out, so...
Okay, a little bit of waiting. But since Smart Omega will be in the first... or in the blue side
Get riled up Vexana.
Yeah.
Or give Lewis an Arlot.
Yeah, I feel like they should be going for those 2 picks. It's the Vexana or the other comfort heroes for Ryle, but if they would really want to prioritize the pressure and the setups as well, the Arlot for Luis is up for grabs in this draft. So
yeah, Ryle's not in a rush because he has a Valentina too. He's a solid Valentina.
And the Faramis and the... he's been using a lot of actually utility, even the Angela. So, but the Angela is not here. So, Vexana immediately,
You know what? I really like having Brigida here from all this MDL knowledge really starting to very apparent. He basically drafted a single hero per player. I
She's
love,
a
I love what
history.
you did there.
She's a history. And you were still in the MDL when they almost made it to the championship.
Yeah,
when they were in the grand finals.
Yeah, that was historical. It was the upper bracket run for them. So they were really dominant in that tournament. So right
Really?
now, yeah,
It was Echo
Yeah.
Proud who went through the bottom.
Echo Proud went through the
Lower bracket?
So
There it is.
yeah, that was how dominant they were in the previous season of MDL. But you can see the transition to the MPL.
That was about 6 months ago.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah.
Here's the Grok and the
Oh.
Roger. The answer by AP Bren. This is as early as it gets for Grok, is it not?
Oh yeah, actually,
That's true.
It's surprising. So probably if you decide to go for the Claude, there's an immediate answer coming in here. Oh, I thought I was able to join the selfie. But then right now that they have the Grok and the Wild Charge, so we're not so sure if they
There's
will be
Arlo.
immediately picking up the Jome hero. Because again, this is Roger, and it's going to be used by Super Marco this time. Again, similar to earlier. So they won't be prioritizing the marksman for Jome just
Oof,
yet.
there
They're
it is.
saving it.
You know, I've been waiting for this Baksha because you know the way that Matt played that Fredrin earlier felt like a Baksha. He was waiting inside the
Oh.
Lord Pit, feeling like I have a way out. No, you don't have a way out. You're a Fredrin, bro. What are you doing there?
It's not the same, yeah.
It felt like muscle memory there in that moment. So I'm glad that to see that Matt will be back on the Baksha.
And this makes sense is because, in addition to what you said about Matt and Baksha and Matt, the fact that they're protecting Jome more now. Because Jome did okay against a Masha Ogwin, right? Now what if you protect him even more? What if you really just set it up so that Jome succeeds?
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of relate it to the previous situation with RSG. The moment they decided to pay more attention to how they're going to take care of Kusei, and things changed a lot for like how or the way they were able to eventually play. So for this time, that they might just be already acknowledging just how impactful Jome could probably be when he's on his own. What more if they actually provide the necessary support for him to do just that? And so far, we're seeing them being a little bit more well-rounded because right now, Ryle, he's able to pick up Texana, so they have an immediate answer to whoever wants to go for the engage. And at the same time, they have the frontliners. They have the front, they have the setup, they have the control. There's the Baksha and the Arlot. In the Filipino desk, they call this the Vexana +2 kind of thing. So they kind of like have a better or a more well-rounded start to this draft as compared to earlier. Because compared to earlier as well, Bren's first 3 picks aren't that well, I take it back. It's very unpredictable because the Grok was quite early as well as the Roger, so...
Still don't know.
I still don't know.
Yeah, it was still up for grabs here. Obviously, right now, Bren trying to see if they can make it harder for the life of the XP laner here. And right now, I would have actually liked the CC. That would have been a shame. I was actually hoping for a flap TZ CC here.
CC's stocks have been dwindling.
That's true, though.
She used to be ban-worthy. Yeah. I mean, in the first phase, like that's how high her priority was. Now she's like, all right, let's just clean it up.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure that these heroes go where we expect them to.
Oftentimes, CC is really accompanied by either the Angela or typically a support hero. It was only Bren who actually got to mix and match like the CC together with the Minotaur, the CC together with the Matilda. But those options aren't really available right now because both the Minotaur as well as the Matilda, they're banned out. So we might just like see a different Flap Easy hero this time. So I mean, both the X-Borg and the Paquito as well, they're still open. The Lapu as well, it's not impossible for us to see that. But so is the Benedetta. So Omega, they're really taking out the Louis no matter what.
Is there any chance that we can see a Grok on XP and Chip on Rome?
Oh.
Is there any chance for that for Bren? What do you think?
I'm not counting it out.
I don't wanna hope too much.
But I don't see a world where
I feel like
Flap TZ plays the Grok. It's been a while.
Yeah, Ogwen for Grok 100%.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
All right, so first pick up here. I'd say, what are they covering up? The XP lane. That's really the only flex here.
Yeah, the X-Borg might be a good pick for this Baksha as well. But I feel like they're being also careful. They have a lot of options as well. And okay, let's not get the X-Borg. Let's just get the answer to the X-Borg.
Yep, there's the mid laner for AP Bren. Now Smart Omega. Where do they go from here? They have to finish their draft here. This is for all of the marbles, cards on the table for the Barangay.
Yeah, we're not too surprised right now here. I wonder if Omega will surprise us with a money gold laner here. What gold laner can kind of go toe-to-toe against a Roger? I think that's a big question. Like, can you even make it out of the laning phase against Super Marco?
I mean, Chome, I think, has only ever used the Claude carry
Claude?
and the Ruby, but the Ruby was, again, with the Nathan jungle that they used last time.
Carry.
So they will be using the carry instead, and the Paquito, no Xborg for this game. So they're just going all out on the damage as well, and they're taking out some heroes from AP Bren.
All the more I appreciate that Smart Omega actually checked AP Bren's bluff. Like, seeing still that there's an Arlot, AP Bren banned the Yuzhong, saying, yeah, that Arlot better go where we expect it to go. And Smart Omega said, no, you're not telling us what to do here. They send it over to the roam and then put an XP Paquito into the field here.
Oh,
and they still go for the
Exactly, wow, tit for tat. AP Bren says, okay, all right, it's like that, huh?
So in the previous game, we saw this X-Borg get pummeled to death by a Paquito.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be the case here as well.
Yeah, it's an Xborg being picked up regardless of the presence of a Paquito, regardless of the Vexana as well. So they're just really being confident this time. AP Bren, they know that they're just so capable.
You know what? Matchup be damned. It's okay. It's Flap, TZ.
It's Flap.
It's Flap. He's just going to play around it. And again, what is he afraid of besides a Paquito, right? There's very little CC that's reliable from Smart Omega. You have the final slash, and you have Matt jumping onto you. That's it.
That's right.
You require an ult or good placement for the Vexana for you to get CC'd by that.
Yeah, and I don't think he will be threatened by Jome until, let's say the mid portions of the game, until he gets the necessary items. So if we see the same kind of Flap TZ using the Xborg, I mean, it's been a very remarkable, even in previous international tournaments, we've seen him use this hero. There's just no saying just how pressuring this game is going to be for Omega, but this is, again, very high stakes. They definitely would want to at least bring us to a game number 3.
It's an invariable element here. Flap TZ is looking, wow, even in the face of 2. Even in the face of 2 from Smart Omega. Looking at the opening emblems here. Oh yeah, okay, cool. That's just about normal.
Yep, it's Super Marco once again wanting to be really aggressive, especially with the Master Assassin being picked up. So they don't want the same scenario to happen. That Jome is actually getting to manage the lane pretty well, and we're seeing it right now in the minimap. At least he's actually pressuring Jome to stay under the turret, because look at the damage he's able to throw out.
Yeah, there's a lot of fret here from Omega, but that's something that's going to come in later. Like, way later, especially in the case of Jome. Unless you count out Luis, which obviously the newly buffed Paquito can do massive amounts of damage in the early game. But that's depending on the target. And depending on whether or not the target will present himself here, as we do see, Kaltizi going straight at it, forcing a flicker out, but still getting the kill onto Mark.
That was difficult because Mark didn't even hit level 4. The roamers aren't at level 4 yet. So there's very little Mark can do to protect himself.
And AP Bren got all the routes covered, even if he was able to actually get past that gorgeous barrier, he will literally just receive the stun and eventually the continuous damage coming in here from Few. So that was a beautiful pickoff coming in here from AP Bren prior to this turtle, and we're seeing how they're slowly establishing the lead once again up against Smart Omega.
Yep, big 4-man presence here in the turtle pit. Ogwin first to the scene, pulling it just slightly over the AP Bren side. Up top!
Oh boy! We got a bit of a punch back here from Jome. Of course, the shielding gonna come in just in clutch for Mr. Super Marco. Looks calculated, but the fight's gonna happen here around the turtle area. Down goes Mr. Gush here. Low HP onto Matt, but will be able to make it out at least at the nick of time.
Very good exchange here. Smart Omega not allowing AP Bren to get clear wins here. And look at Lewis, he's playing the flank.
Yep. This is a different situation for AP Bren. There's pressure for Few, there's pressure for their damage dealers, but there are 2 separate fights happening. And will they be able to take a pick off? Seems like no.
Okay, so something tells me Omega had no intent of ever stealing that turtle. They just sent bodies over there to make it a longer take because Matt just walked away. Matt just went and took his purple, and now he's going for the orange, if I'm not mistaken.
The timeless idol.
Second player to win 100 matches in MPL Philippines history.
Carl TZ was the first. And at some point, funnily enough, they were teammates. So look at the greatness, look at the legacy of excellence that these two players are following in each other's footsteps too.
Apparently here it's not inherited. It's kind of like contagious.
Again?
Greatness is contagious here for these guys.
Oh wait, Luis!
Oh, Luis, you're too deep in, bro. Oh,
That's
with
it.
Cal TZ catching you and Flap TZ on the side. The new TZ brothers in town making it hard for it.
That was a trade clearly here for Smart Omega as they were able to, for AP Bren rather, as they were able to take out or take down a few in the mid lane earlier as well. So come to think of it, those were that was a trade for them, but the gap wasn't really closed. It's still in favor of AP Bren, and they're still managing this lead pretty much or pretty well. If we look at it, even in the laning right now, they're not really feeling the pressure yet.
Nope, not much. Again, every time Omega goes for a player, whenever AP Bren wins an objective, they're able to really close out the gap. At most, Omega just takes their own camp. Nothing across the map just yet.
Not seeing it yet. Right now in the upcoming Turtle, I don't know if the same thing will happen, that Omega just will be sending out bodies, or will they be contesting it this time? Because AP Bren, even or prior to that Turtle, they want something to happen. They want to take something away from Smart Omega, and that's the purple buff right here of Matt.
Yeah, they're going to be spending a lot of resources, and I think it will still go over the mat.
Yep, but he uses Retribution just as the turtle spawned.
Oh, it's a trap.
Oh.
And they fell for it. He was forced to use a Retribution.
There was no other way. They need to catch up, or they can't be left behind. Currently, there is already an existing level gap between these two junglers, and they can't afford to expand it any further. But
the beauty of the situation, if only Kyle TZ was maybe 2 or 3 seconds earlier, he could have Retribution the orange away from Matt as well.
It's a difficult situation if you were the jungler of Smart Omega this time. You're supposed to be the one establishing the space and the opportunities for your team, but they're being denied so much, even in your own jungle.
We're getting into snowball territory here for AP Bren. You know, those small things really start to stack up on top of each other. Such a simple thing like whether or not you use the Retribution on the turtle, you had the freedom to not use the Retribution, so you could use it again. So these things, these small things are really stacking up for the Bees here.
Yeah, it's also a result of how beautifully executed their early game was. There are already several established level gaps between the players and their laning counterparts, and at the same time, we don't feel like they're being that pressured by the potential flanks coming in here from, let's say, Luis and whatnot, but still it's there, but we're not seeing them literally meeting when it matters the most.
Which makes for a yin and yang, or I don't know, you take the good with the bad type of situation, because yes, the aforementioned Paquito not doing what we expected it to do to burst down the X board. Yeah. We were expecting Flap to walk in and say, hey, how do I even last Insanity? I rarely have any Faraga armor. No, for the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game now, it's been a win for that lane down bottom.
Yeah.
But compare that to top lane, wherein Jome actually is again doing what he did in game 1 in an unconventional manner, winning that lane, or at least as much as you can win against a Roger.
Yeah.
So there it is again. I think we're following very closely in the same path, or at least the way that game 1 went, which is, again, I think I'd like to be an optimist this time around. A good thing for Smart Omega, because they already know what happens if you miss out those windows, if you overcommit in certain places.
Yeah.
So maybe here they can do better.
So it might just be time for them to divert some of their attention at least to prioritizing or taking care of the gold lane. Because if Jome is really just doing this great of a job on his own, then it might just be time that they provide the support for him to further get the advantage and at least win out a lane if they don't necessarily are able to secure or contest the objectives such as the turtle. Because earlier we've seen the attempt, the presence of Smart Omega around that turtle pit, but they did not necessarily go in for the the Crit 3 contestation, and this time around that we're seeing another turtle not being contested by Smart Omega, we gotta ask, like, where exactly are they allotting, or where exactly are they going for the trades? What are the trades? What are they doing? All the while Bren is continuously establishing and stacking up the lead that they have up against Smart Omega.
Which is weirder because there's a Baksha. You're supposed to be faster on the rotation.
That's true. You're almost always supposed to be ahead. You start these fights. But yeah, what Bren is basically doing is, like, you know, trading off. They're not getting kills, right? They're not getting as much kills as we thought.
Low kill count game, yeah.
Right now. But they're getting something. There's always getting something. That, like, getting a small lead on top side, like pushing Joan back a little bit, and then Joan pushing forward again. That buys time. That buys a lot of time for, like, the rest of the team to do what they need to do around these turtle pits, and that maybe that's why Bren's ahead right now. So
I think, or I mean, that's also what they were able to do in game number 1, but the odds just went against them.
Yeah, in game 1, it was like multiplied.
It was
to
multiplied.
A massive amount.
I'm afraid that might be true, Rockheart. I'm afraid that Smart Omega are planting seeds for a tree that they will not be able to see.
Yeah.
Because right now, yes, Jones' lane hasn't been cracked through. There aren't many kills. Wait, that was a final slash. All right, never mind. See, so he hasn't died just yet, nor has Super Marco here, about 6 minutes in. So there is no payoff just yet. And in an investment, there's no dividends to this yet. Once it does pay off, or when we confirm that it hasn't worked, where does Smart Omega go from there?
It's a question. It's really looking at what are they doing during these times where the lead is just continuously growing for AP Bren. Because as we're seeing it right now, there aren't really any trades. Even in the previous game, we've reached a point when even they were able to occasionally get out of the map, there were minimal or little to no turrets taken down from AP Bren. So the space is just really so narrow for them to move. And right now, that's exactly what AP Bren is doing. They're continuously taking down the objectives.
Yeah, there seems to be multiple fights happening right now, and one of them is, of course, under this turret with Jom being basically put very, very low. Ogwend with wild charge, and the follow-up here from Mart. Now that's a pretty good final slash, but the damage is not quite there yet. It's a lot of people, and 5 bodies, including the Eternal Guard here, available for Omega. And they're just going to be trading up Mart for it.
Oh, Super Marco. His passive kicks in. At least, no, when you click the skill, of course, now it kicks in. Everyone was so low, he was bloodthirsty, he went for the kill.
Yeah, and even if that final slash was really well timed, to think that AP Bren there, this tanky, and even Ogwen, he's just able to immune himself and continuously, like, make his presence felt and chase after the members of Smart Omega. They weren't really able to get anything. They were almost there, but it was not enough, and the tables were turned against them. It's really difficult to commit against this lineup of AP Bren if you're not able to take out Super Marco first, or even Few, which earlier, supposedly Few was about to fall down, but that well-timed wild charge as well prevented Smart Omega from taking him out.
Look at this. Oh, man. Disaster is happening all around here. First of all, Mark getting taken out. And if you saw on the bottom side, Luis getting whittled down to a crisp 1v1 by the gold laner.
By Super Marco. And now he's just moving on from hero to turret, turret to hero, crossing over. And just now, a moment ago, Big J was trying to push that top lane. Big J was trying to make the most. Again, we're looking for these trades. And now we're getting the answer to the question that we asked. Where is the investment paying off? And right now, it's not. It's really difficult. They're down about 5K.
That decision to clear the minion wave late was so interesting coming in from Super Marco. They're really making the waves or pushing the waves towards Smart Omega's side. So there's so much pressure.
Oh my goodness, Louise almost evaporated here. That wasn't even full-powered Mystic. Gosh, she was able to make it out in time, but the damage is just unreal here coming in from the Roger.
And he needed to pop some skills to get extra shields to not die. They need every little bit of health. They need every little bit of a life to make sure that this 5K gold lead does not balloon out of control. And look at this, mission successful here for Big J, eventually able to crack that top lane tier 1.
Yep, so we're starting to see, bit by bit, the trades or the answers that Smart Omega are trying to do, though is quite a bit late, 8 minutes into the game, but Mark will be able to find Few.
All right, interesting use of the flicker final slash.
Oh, no.
They're trying to catch Few, but instead it is Mart who falls victim here to AP Bren and Jom as well. Not gonna be able to make it out here. Flicker already used as well. It's everything's crumbling down for Omega right now.
That's a 4-man collapse. 5-man collapse. I didn't even notice everyone was in there because there was a bottom lane push from Lewis. But still 3 bodies for a turret down bottom. I'd say that's not worth it.
That fight was so well covered for AP Bren. Imagine Kyle TZ was there behind just waiting for the members who were trying to run away. And at the same time, the Appraiser's Wrath coupled with the last Insanity, it seemed impossible for you to escape that kind of combo coming in from AP Bren. So right now, another Lord objective will fall into their hands. Once again, the 8-minute or the first Lord will be taken by AP Bren.
That's a fresh Lord. Actually, I'm surprised it took that long. We are now approaching 10 minutes in, and it's things like this that allow for that 3-man collapse to happen. First Mark goes, and then underneath Tier 1, AP Bren says, let's go.
Yeah, Kaltizi really caught them by surprise as well from the back.
Oh no, Ogwen.
Ogwen. Oh, that might have been a kill here coming in from Omega, but Ogwen used the wild charge. Flapteezy, oh my goodness. That's a 5-man zone there with the last Insanity.
Oh, that was not even the flicker was used. But
You stay in there for a second more, you're dead.
They had to. They had to flicker out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now AP Bren, 8K ahead, cleaning up house. No more Tier 2 turrets, just the inhibitors left for the new Barangay. And just like that, it's deja vu. We're back to the same shape these two were in Game 1.
And we're back at it again. It's looking like it is going to be Omega who are against the ropes here. AP Bren just, walking around the outside the base just like sharks in the water.
Starting, even the shockwaves coming in from the inhibitor turrets were already triggered here for AP Bren. Flapteezy gets caught.
And there it is, Flapteezy, he's under there. And he's not going to be worrying about an exit. He will find one with turret going down.
Whoa.
Matt as well, faced head-on with the Appraiser's Wrath.
It's
going for the chase here, Luis. He is hungry for blood here. He's been trying to get these kills, but it's Ryle who goes down instead.
Flapteezy with the last-minute flicker, costing Smart Omega. They lose 2 on the way out, plus that top lane inhibitor, and there's a big wave in mid.
Oh no, they're back. Oh!
And there it is, the desperation final slash, who very well may be the final slash of this game.
Oh, they cracked open mid. Bottom lane might be up next. Again, they're sandbagging this big wave, and there's just 3 defenders left. Ryle's going to be in here for that last defense.
Yeah, one more Eternal Guard, maybe on a crucial target here. Super Marco, very, very healthy, but will be able to force AP Bren back, at least for now.
But AP Bren, they're so happy with that. They got out all they took out all the inhibitor turrets, and it's less than a minute before the next Lord spawns because it's been that long. So right now we're seeing Smart Omega literally in the same position again, but unlike earlier, how will this turn around, or how this will turn out for them? Because it's no longer a Claude, it's no longer multiple targets being here or possible for...
Oh, look at that! Wow, that final slash activated by Mark here. That made a big difference. That might prolong this game even further.
That looked like a frustration final slash.
It did.
He's been trying to catch that since the 5-minute mark. He's been trying to do that right here in mid lane Tier 1. But, okay, considering that, we might see another Lord, yes, but I don't think Smart Omega is in a shape to contest still, because Ogwen's going to make it in time.
4v5. Yeah, 8 seconds for Ogwen.
Ogwen's going to make it.
AP Bren can kind of delay this and force them to push back.
Yep.
Luis, though, could be in trouble with the pushback here. Oh, that's a nice dodge from the Appraiser's Wrath, but Super Marco is here to clean it up, making sure that his damage is felt here, even unmarked.
That wasn't even a flicker, Roger, but he was able to catch up.
Just jumped in again, used maximum range. Again, you might call him a melee hero or even like a mid-range hero, but no, the number of dashes this hero has, it's ridiculous. So now they're going to go ahead and take this Lord, unless Sir Matt,
Man, Sir Matt, I don't know if you have enough tankiness to sustain against his 4 members of AP Bren, and the Lord right there for you. Kyle Teasy takes it out.
That was a last-minute last-second decision for Smart Omega to say, you know what, Sir Matt, go. Maybe try.
Go for it.
Maybe try. And he did.
You would want to try at this point. I mean, the death timers aren't that long just yet. And we've been seeing this trend even in the previous game. They really want to risk it. They try to actually contest the retribution, but it never favors them. It's always almost a situation that's perfectly set up by AP Bren.
Yeah, big part of that obviously is the gap in items as well as levels right now.
Huge.
It is huge.
Approaching 12,000 gold at 14 minutes. That comes down to an average of maybe a full item per roll. But that's not the case, right? It's actually a huge gap on each core across the board. And yes, they do deny and they block the Lord here, but wait.
Look at the map. Actually, Luis is behind Few right now.
It's working.
Will it make a difference? Ogwen falls. And there's Jom. He's trying to get as much damage as he can into primary targets here, dodging out of the Mystic Gush, and they're able to make it out in time.
Oh, they cleared the waves.
They're busy with Luis.
Still standing. Luis in the back.
Whoa.
Okay, all right. 4v5.
4v5 right now. And a very, very weakened base stands in Omega as AP Bren trying to look to see if they can finish it once and for all. Jumps quite low. Super Marco's on it. Oh, he gets hit by the well. And that is going to be game.
Huge waves coming in from top, mid, and bottom. Overloading ang bagong Barangay, giving our defending champions here the sweep. They get the victory, remaining undefeated.
They knew they could end it. They stayed. I think the biggest surprise was how Ogwen was still able to survive after all that. Like the very well-angled flicker that saved him, his life, which eventually allowed them to re-engage and put a close to the fight, to the game. It resulted in another sweep for AP Bren. The perfect record is still there for them.
Not a game, not a series. AP Bren continues their undefeated streak. Showing respect to their fallen opponents here. Smart Omega, I think it's back to the drawing board for the bagong Barangay.
Yeah, the new Barangay, they really need to just maybe shuffle down. They need another table, sit down. I don't know what that means. But right now, this combination, it looked like there was something that maybe could have been polished. But yeah, it was pretty far from what you need to take down the world champs.
GG well played to OMG as they take their march down the ramp through the crowd, through the Barangay, through the Hive. They fought valiantly. And if I could give a suggestion, and you folks can say if you agree, maybe give this roster another run. Maybe one more. One more time this weekend,
One more,
right?
let's go.
Okay, here we go. Let's go to stage. Talk to AP Bren with Mana and Hans.
My goodness! Another sweep for AP Bren! Congratulations! Nasaan si Super Marco? Super Marco, impressive as always. Alam mo, may nagsubok na gumawa. Usually, traditionally, ang Roger Jungle, di ba? May nagsubok gumawa ng Roger na gold lane before, pero talo. Ikaw, nagawa mo ng maayos, 8-0-1. So, why did it work this time? Ano ba yung mga conditions para mapagana ang Roger sa gold lane?
Una-una po lahat kasi main hero kasi Roger eh. Kaya sobrang praktisado ako.
So, ba't ngayon mo lang siya ginamit?
Ngayon lang po ulit nagamit ko. Ngayon lang na may ito ulit.
Okay. Impressive. Pwede mo natin siya palakpakan? Paano ginagawa ni Roger yung attack niya? Katulad kanina. Kung i-saturates natin siya, paano ginagawa yung Roger?
Para daw.
Tulad nung kanina.
Sabi ni Coach, mag-transform ka daw.
Paano nga si Coach Ducky?
Hindi ko magano. Ganito yung first skill nyo.
Accurate naman.
Pasok. And I mean, you'd also want to give a warm round of applause para sa MVP ng game number 1. Come on, guys. Ogwen, really showing out in this game. That's the first time na nakita natin, I believe, ang Masha this season. Meron din gumamit niyan sa ibang bansa as far as I can remember. Pero saan ba mas fit yung Masha in some moments? Like, paano mo ba masasabi, without giving out your strategy, paano mo ba masasabi na fit yung Masha doon sa lineup nyo kanina?
Fit yung Masha kapag siguro may mga malalambot na pwede kong ultian.
Feel ko hindi ka rin magpapahuli kasi ginawa ni Marco kanina eh. So paano si Masha pag nagdadagdag ng HP? Paano si Masha pag nagdadagdag ng HP? Okay. Pasok naman, nadagdagan na ng isang bar.
Pasok na pasok. Pero ito, guys, bukas, makakalaban nyo Echo. Kayo, tied kayo at #1 spot right now sa points, both undefeated. Isa sa inyo finally magkakaroon ng talo. So, ano yung thoughts nyo about tomorrow? Sige nga, Few.
Same lang sa Kasi parehas naman yung tingin namin sa lahat ng kalaban namin na gagawin namin yung best namin kahit sino sila.
Ganun din ba? Ito talagang mabait. Flap, sige nga, bukas. Kalaban nyo, Echo, ilabas mo yung angas mo. Ano yung message mo sa kanila? Gusto mo sabihin about tomorrow?
Feel daw si Coach Trevor daw parang may gusto daw sabihin. Oo, meron daw gusto sabihin.
Coach, tama!
Meron gusto sabihin. Meron gusto sabihin, di ba? Meron. Okay.
Coach! Ayun na lang. Sabi niya, ako na lang. Ito, coach. Ikaw na, coach.
Hello. Tingin ko magandang laban bukas kasi parehas walang talo. Good luck na lang kay Kyle TC. Talunin mo si Kyle. Good luck.
Tomorrow is going to be very interesting. And congratulations dahil we just got news ng ating MVP of Game 2, Super Marco. Are we gonna expect more Roger Gold?
Wolf form naman daw, Marco.
Wolf form. Paano yung wolf form? Paano nga? Wolf form.
Flap? Sorry, Flap. Ano yun? Naka-wolf form na. Di na kailangan.
Ayan! Nice! Nice! Very well said. Congratulations once again to AP Bren. You may now take your bow and take your walk of victory. Congrats, Coach. Naka-wolf form na.
Naka-wolf form na. Hindi na kailangan bumalik sa human form.
Si Super Marco, quiet in real life, pero halimaw when it comes to the land of Dawn.
And I can't wait to see Coach Trevor tomorrow as he goes up against his former team. Tabangan natin yan very soon.
We're gonna have to watch out for that, and now we're gonna take a look at what our casters have to say. Casters, paso.
This is neither here nor there in this current matchup, but hearing Coach Treb's words, saying that tomorrow's match is definitely going to be a good one, makes me all the more excited.
That's true. I feel like there's a little certain chill, right? There's a certain chill that you can feel when it's one of the winningest coaches as well.
Loaded. Good luck to us both. Anyways,
Loaded.
let's go back into game number 2 and award our MVP. Once again, it's none other than Super Marco. His second time playing the gold lane Roger as it makes its debut here in MPL Philippines Season 13. Brigida, tell us how this happened.
And he pretty much demonstrated how to do the skills in real life. But what really mattered the most was ultimately how he was able to pull off this Roger performance. Not like how we'd expected to be mostly revolving around all that lane bullying and really making your enemies low. There was an attempt, but we really also commended Dome for also putting up a great fight in the lane. But what mattered was that he never was left behind in terms of the farm, and that when he could really time the transformations well. Whenever he had to use his human form, whenever he had to use his wolf form, and it was all made possible as well by the assistance of his teammates who were also very well-rounded in trying to anticipate where all of the players from Smart Omega would be coming from, would be running to, and when they really set their eyes on something, it's so hard to stop AP Bren, and it's something that was super visualized to us in the way that they were able to immediately adjust and execute this match, which ended quicker or faster as compared to game number 1. But there were also attempts from Smart Omega as well earlier to at least go for the surprise attacks, or at least try to go around and surround AP Bren as well, but it really didn't matter. It wasn't something that surprised them as much. Even these final slashes that weren't necessarily immediately provided, the follow-up weren't also capitalized on here by Smart Omega. It was really AP Bren who was able to show us that perfect, or that really clean gameplay throughout that match, which again ended in 15 minutes as compared to earlier, faster by 3 minutes. So as we look at the emblems, again, very standard still, we see how even Joe actually also picked up the Master Assassin as well, so probably also explains to some extent how he was able to manage the lane up against the Roger, or Super Marco on that Roger, but it still wasn't enough. They weren't able to convert much, get much kills, and apart from kills, they were almost always denied from getting objectives, which is another resource where they could actually take some gold from. So this lead, or this 11k gold lead, was seemingly like a replay of also what we've seen in the previous game. It was literally very hard for Smart Omega to find ways to get the resources, because it also came to a point where AP Bren, they were slowly starting to just deny them constantly, especially the jungler. Matt here found a very difficult job to even just continue or do his jungling pattern, just because of the immense pressure brought to him by the members of AP Bren, by the high mobility members here of AP Bren. So here we're seeing how well distributed the damage was in AP Bren's side, which just goes to show just how connected, or just how beautiful they were able to coordinate whenever they were going for the engage. So it was, or most of the kills were really leaning towards their side, but it's also mostly because they were just really, or they had their eyes set so much on what they were able to do. And Kyle TZ, this time, as you can see in the heat map, it was all over the map once again. Seemingly a rotation you would expect from heroes such as the Baksha, which surprisingly was not something that we were able to see here from Matt. It was something that Kyle rather was able to pull off, and it's something that really paved the way for AP Bren stopping the rotations from Smart Omega, which also I think is a question for us, because there were rotations that could have been, or that could have benefited them better if they did it. But this, again, it's a room for discovery for Smart Omega as well. It's a world champions.
I could only theorize and speculate why they did not take these routes and why they did what they did here today. I'm hoping that they give this roster another chance.
Yeah. One more.
One more. Just try one more, all right? Real quick, assemble your own community tournament. Be a part of the E project. Esports for everyone. Show the world your impeccable esports prowess.
And of course, enjoy tournament access mode, free in-game items, diamonds, and more. You can register by scanning the QR code below.
All right, so I'd like to also correct myself. This is not the debut of Roger, but it is the first successful win of a Roger in MPL Philippines Season 13. It was first picked up by TNC Pro Team in week number 2, and it was to a loss against Echo. So now at least we're for sure, we can say that Roger's here to stay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And Masha, it's something we saw today that had a very promising performance. The hero we still are waiting to see is Chip, but who knows, this week will it show, or I don't know.
Eventually. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed tonight's matchup. Thank you so much for joining us. She's Brigida, this is Rockhard. I'm Leo, always at your service. We'll throw over the stage with Hans and Mara.
Yung laban natin dito sa MPL Philippines, Hans, alam mo parang yung panahon natin ngayon. Painit ng painit.
Real ka dyan, Mara. So stay dehydrated, everyone. And, 2 sweeps ang natunghayan natin ngayong araw at bukas. Siguradong mas mainit na bakbakan ng ating abangan, lalo na't 2 world champions ang mag-aarap.
Alam namin inaabangan nyo lahat kahit may mga nagsasabing boring daw ang ating mga laban, kaya samahan niyo ulit kami bukas. Muli, ako po si Mara Aquino.
At ako naman si Hans Galeria.
Na nagpapaalalang magkakaiba man ng ating pinagdadaanan. Sama-sama pa rin tayo sa laban. Para sa tagumpay. Keep it good vibes, everybody.
And see you tomorrow.